What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Footy with an Edge. Can we just have a moment of silence for our main man, Frank Illett? Penny for this guy's thoughts, honestly, because when is he gonna cut his hair? I we don't have any games this year, guys. We there's 28 games left, and like if we're lucky, like 5 or 6 in the FA Cup. I I think his barber's just gonna have to quit. I I don't how You know what my wife said when we were winning? She's like, "Okay, this guy's gonna get closer to cutting his hair now." And then when we were 2-1 down, her first concern is, "Oh my god, when's he gonna cut his hair?" And then I told her we drew, and she's like, "Wait, does this mean he's not gonna cut his hair?" This is the type of sensation this guy's causing, right? Because my wife's concern is, um, poor, how does this guy's wife live with him with all this hair? And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what he's gonna do, guys. I don't know when his hair is gonna get cut because let's be honest, today it it was a scrappy game, right? It was a scrappy Sean Dyche game. Defensively, I can't really criticize the team too much. I know people want to hate on Dallo, but that was just such a quick move from Savona to get in front of Dallo for the second goal. So I can't really blame him for that. And the first one either, it was just a good set piece, right? So listen, guys, we can concede goals in the Premier League to teams that do things well, right? It is okay to concede a goal in a situation where the team deserved it. So I'm not going to really blame us defensively, but from an attacking sense, we were shocking today, right? I think a lot of the players were not at it. Like when you look at Cunha, when you look at Mbumo, you look at Ahmad, a lot of them were just not at it, guys. So I'm gonna say, look, Ahmad scored a great goal, like great goal, right? But for the first 80 minutes of that game, he was pretty shocking, and there's no excuse for that. I can't make excuses for Ahmad. I can't make excuses for Cunha. These are the types of games we purchased these guys for from teams like Brentford and Wolves. These are the types of games where you have to, show some magic. And Cunha was my bet for man of the match today because he can dribble through players and pull people out of position and make something happen, especially when we're a goal up, right? They didn't score till the 48th minute in the second half. We should have got a second goal in the first half. That was the way we killed this game. And to concede 2 goals from set plays in 2 minutes, basically, that was pretty disheartening, right? There's no two ways about it. And yeah, I mean, I want to see the Amram Outers come back now and say, "Oh, he was only winning because of long balls," and now that we play against a long ball team, we can't really win, right? Because that's going to be the nonsense level of analysis we're going to get from these people. The truth is, guys, give Forest their credit for the 2 goals that they got, and on balance, they probably could have won that game, right? I think we did just about enough to get a draw from that game, and how good is it to be in a situation where we get a draw and we're disappointed because we're not really in second place or in a title race anymore, right? And how things have changed compared to the Fulham game where we drew that game and everybody was on Amram's ass, everybody was on this team, everybody was swearing at Ineos, right? Let me just close this door, guys. Give me 1 second. Yeah. So, how nice is it for us to draw a game that we probably could have and should have lost, but ended up drawing it? And we're actually not feeling, we're not having the worst feeling in the world. It actually feels like, you know what? They played well today and we still managed to get a draw. And listen, I think they're on 1 win from 10 games. So they were going to come play for their lives today and throw everything at the fan that could possibly stick. Come on, man. He's not a fake fan. Guys, come on. let's not shit on Frank. He's a good guy. He's even like raising money for charity. Let's not hate on Frank. We're not going to do that. We need to buy Anderson. Dude, Anderson looked good today. Anderson looked like he was doing an audition for the United team. He looked really, really good today. So if you guys think Anderson was fire, let me know. Let me start a poll right here. All right, get your vote in the poll, guys. Should we sign Anderson or not? I think he had a great performance, dude. His close control of the ball, the way he kind of is good in tight spaces, right? He also seems very press resistant, and the passes, that was the thing that caught my eye, because he didn't just win the ball. He would find his way to get a little bit of space and play the perfect pass in behind. And I thought Anderson was great today. Listen, it all depends on how much the big man in charge is going to charge us. I don't see Marinakis letting him go for anything less than 80 million, especially now that Tuchel really likes him as an England starter. Let me just get a bit more light in here. Yeah. So I think he's going to be very expensive, but perfect replacement for Casemiro. I do think he would be good. Shaw had a good game. I agree. There were some people hating on Shaw. I'm not sure what that was about. Anderson guy, very smart. He might be like Baleba. I want to see more of Anderson. I agree. Dallo, Shaw, Delict, and Euro. Well, we didn't really play a back four, so I don't know what you're talking about. Poor decisions against us. I thought the officiating was okay in that game. I wouldn't really have a lot to say about that. Anderson creates their first goal. Amazing switch of play. I agree. And then Ahmad Ahmad had a really bad game today, guys. We have to talk about Ahmad for a second. Let me just turn the light on over here. It's a little dark today. There we go. And Ahmad had a poor game today, and I'm also sweating here. Jeez, it's hot in this room. And I feel like I don't know how to feel about Ahmad, because that goal was amazing, right? That volley, that finish was just fantastic. But it's hard for me to think he's gonna get better in a consistent way, because defensively he's just too short, right? At the back post, we need to figure that out. That's a set piece thing. We can't be leaving him as the last man. Morgan Gibbs White isn't the tallest man in the world, and he still managed to essentially beat Ahmad for the goal. And I feel like we got to do better with that. So we need to figure out some solution, because we do have enough tall players. It's just that our entire right side, like Mbumo, is not very tall either. Is not very good at that. So I don't remember any pass Ahmad did. I mean, look, he was just like, I'd say below average, right? That was the problem. We needed some magic from him, and sure, he scored that goal, but I think it's still a 6 out of 10 for me. So that's the problem. It's not our day today, but we look to the next game. Yeah, absolutely. Looks like Frank is going to get his haircut when we play the FA Cup. That's the only thing I can see. Let's see. So Ahmad scored defensively poor. Yeah, absolutely. Ahmad was poor today. Cool. Let's just do like some match ratings quickly, and then I'll start getting people into the call. Guys, the StreamYard link is pinned in the chat, so if you want to share your thoughts, please come give your thoughts. Let me just put up the FOTMob page right here. Give me 1 second. What's my thought on changing the midfield? This is a very good question, Art, because how bad does our midfield have to be that we can't get our two unks, our two 30-year-old midfielders off the pitch in a game like this? So imagine how poorly Amarim rates our midfield depth if we can't take we didn't take Casemiro and Bruno off for the whole game, right? I'm going to show you guys this. And let me just do a little bit of that. Okay, no, maybe not. Let's do this one. we played Casemiro and Bruno for the whole game, and they had good games, but we just, when we need some sort of change, when we need some sort of energy into the team, it feels like we're struggling to bring someone on. And that's a big problem because we can't go on like this. Like, you know what I thought today, guys, and get in the comments with your thoughts, get in the live chat. I think a light 20 million for someone like Ryan Yates would be a really good signing. I thought Ryan Yates off the bench today looked amazing. I think he's their club captain or something. I'm not really sure. But Ryan Yates, as somebody who would add to the squad depth, a little bit like how Arsenal purchased Christian Norgard from Brentford. I would really like to sign this guy. He's 27. He's going to work hard. He's not a big ego. And I feel like if we go get him, that's really good addition to the squad. And we could take Bruno off or Casemiro off. Doesn't matter. He's just going to come and graft in the midfield, right? And he doesn't treat the ball like a hot potato, like Ugarte. I don't think he's amazing on the ball, but he would be really good midfield depth for this team. And that's something that we need, right? So let me know what you guys think. Yates is captain, but we can't have two defensive midfielders. Why not? We need some depth, dude. Casemiro this season has played only half of our available minutes. So every time he's not on the pitch, we look horrible. And even today, like, he got a goal. He was man of the match, according to FOPMOP. So we need somebody that doesn't just fall off a cliff when Casemiro's not there, that goes and fights for second balls. He's also good at taking tactical fouls. He's also good at staying on the floor when the team needs a bit more time. He did that near the edge of our box today. So I think before beefing out the squad, I'm just saying we can do two things at once, right? He's not going to cost us like 50 million. I think 20 million for squad depth, and maybe we want to move on one of Menu or Ugarte. I don't think that's a bad thing, because what Menu doesn't have in terms of the hard work, Yates can give us. So if that's what we're looking for, then I think he's a good solution. But anyways, let's open up the chat here, and we'll bring up, guys. I'm gonna bring on the folks that have their cameras on. So if you're waiting in the stage, please turn your camera on. It's not a requirement. I'll obviously bring you on anyways, but let's try to do that if we can. All right, let's bring the first guy in. Miro, how you doing?
Yo, how are you?
I'm good, man. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I need to. Looks like my headphones are connected to the wrong device, so you guys might hear some feedback. Give me 1 second. Keeps happening.
Well, let me turn my camera on. 1 second.
Okay, we should be good now.
Are you ready?
Only set piece goals, so lame. I think start Menu in a deeper role. Morton Heilman can really increase the depth. I'd rather want to spend money on a starter first. Yeah. Hey, how you doing, man? You're frozen though. I can't hear you or see you. Okay, we'll give Miro a second to fix his technical issues, and we'll bring Rafi in. Hey, Rafi, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I am well. You're calling in from New York, is that correct?
Yep, New York. Yeah. So the match, I'm okay with the draw, honestly. Game and beat Spurs too. That I thought that maybe we had a chance of contending for the title. I guess that dream isn't really going to pan out, but I think there definitely were like promising signs in the game. The one thing that I wanted to talk about though is I feel like for most of the beginning of the season, I've been hearing about how we have like a really good back line, right? Like a lot of people give praise to DeLitt, a lot of people give praise to Euro. And I think truthfully, right, like, a lot of the time they are like amazing. And this is kind of me just like asking a question. We have, in my opinion, one of the worst defenses in the league, right? Like not in the league, but definitely within like the top 6, right? So I just wanted to ask you, like, why do you think we're so like leaky at the back, and why can't we defend crosses?
I'm sorry. Did you say top 6, which includes Liverpool?
Okay, Liverpool is definitely like they're in a rut right now. They can't like control the ball.
Okay,
but Our problems are still pretty bad.
Well, yeah. So I'll tell you what, right? I think that is a unfair statement, and I'll tell you why. Because you're obviously allowed to have your opinion, and that's totally fine. In my opinion, we struggle with the fact that we don't have cover for Delict, right? Because
Mhm.
central center back Maguire is not reliable. He's injury prone. And probably another reason why they're hesitating to giving him another contract. Because even if he does stay with us and takes less money, how many games is he really going to be available for? That's the question. So I think what we struggle with specifically is the depth and the injury problems. Because if you look at our left center back, we have Shaw and we have Martinez, and
Yeah.
both of those guys are super injury prone, right? You can't rely on them. Then you have Maguire, who's pretty old and out of contract as well, so he's also a concern. So you're looking at like 3 out of the 6 defenders that we have that are questionable in terms of injuries alone. In terms of quality, though, I wouldn't say that we have one of the worst ones. I would put us compared to the top 6. I'd say Arsenal has a better back line. City has more depth. And then you
Okay.
could argue that we're the third best because I don't think Tottenham's backline is better than ours. I don't think Chelsea's backline is better than ours. Chelsea's defense has been their biggest problem this season, and also Liverpool. Liverpool are shitting the bed. So even if you want to put Liverpool above us, just like from a historical perspective, I'm pretty sure that we're kind of neck and neck with
Yeah.
them on most days. So I would say we are third best. Now, if you want to bring in like the Crystal Palace of the world because they have Guehi and all that, now that's a different question. But from what you said, I don't think third
Yeah.
best is the worst in the league.
Yeah, one of the worst in the. No, that's fair. That's fair. But I mean, even when we're like fielding our like best starting 11, which includes like Euro, Delit, and I guess now Shaw, we still don't really look like secure. And so I can't really like pin a reason as to why that's the case. Like I don't understand why like other teams just have so many chances against us, even when we do have like our best players. And so that's
Are
just
you
something that
are you
I've
reacting
been
to
thinking about.
today's game? Like which game are you referring to? Tell me which game.
The Is it true that the only clean sheet that we've kept is against Sunderland, or am I forgetting something? Like in the Prem?
This season, I
Yeah.
think that's right. Yes, that's correct. No, but listen, let's look at the last 3 games, right? Let's look at the
Okay.
last 3 games before this one, and then include this one as well. If you're looking at
Sure.
these 4 games, this is when we've turned the tide of, say, understanding and executing the system well. Would you agree with that? The last 4 games is kind of the a better way to judge the team instead of looking at the whole season. Because if you want to sit here and talk about the Man City game, we probably
Yeah,
need probably need to do that on a different call. Like I'm saying, in the
that's
last
fair.
4 games, we have figured out the system, and the system doesn't rely on the. So if we're conceding goals, it's not because the defenders have done a poor job, right? If we're scoring goals, it's not because the attackers have done a good job. The point is that the team functions as a whole, and defensively, we conceded the 2 goals we did today because of set pieces. And
Yeah.
honestly, there isn't much we can blame on the defense because Ahmad, we want him to be 4 inches taller. Like
The first
that's
goal.
not really a criticism. But Rafi, why don't you give us your man of the
Hmm,
match? Because there's a few people waiting.
Okay,
I'll bring in the other folks
that's
as well.
fair. Man of the match. If I had to choose from our team, that's kind of tough. I'd say either Bruno or Casemiro. Yeah.
Casemiro. All right, cool,
Yeah.
awesome. Rafi, thanks for your thoughts, man. I'll see you
Yep.
again.
Nice talking to you.
All right, let's bring Miro back since he was waiting. Hey man, how you doing?
How are you? How are you?
I am well, thanks. Where are you calling from? Go on, introduce yourself.
Vaughn. My name's Miro. I'm calling from Vaughn. Vaughn,
Oh,
Ontario.
you called in last time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
How you doing?
you didn't like me too much last time.
Oh wait, were you the one being
Casemiro
what's it
hater.
called? Yeah. What now? What now, bro?
What now? No, today, I just felt like second balls we didn't. Their striker Awonyi, that he was good, and I feel like we didn't win any second balls. Is that true?
Bro, he came on for the last 13 minutes.
He came on the 77th minute.
Yes, that's the last 13 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
So what are you talking about? We conceded the 2 goals
Yeah,
before he came on.
yeah, the 2 goals. Yeah, those are unlucky, like set pieces. I get it. But I don't know, like, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the game? What are your thoughts on the game?
Mero, you better give me a reason to keep you on the call again, bro. Come on. Give me
Uh,
some. I brought you on. What are you gonna say? Let's go.
what
What
do
do
you
you
want
think
me
of
to?
the game? Tell me who was your man of the match? Did you like Casemiro's performance today?
Yeah, Casemiro wasn't bad today.
Wasn't bad.
Yeah, he was good. He was good. Like he didn't make too many mistakes on the ball. He was composed. Decision making was good.
Okay. Okay. What did you think of his goal?
Oh, the corner kick. Yeah, it was a good goal. Corner
Mhm.
kick.
And do you think Ugarte or Menu would have done added anything to the team, like let's say in the last 20 minutes or so instead of Casemiro?
Ugarte, yeah, that guy needs to go. That guy needs to go.
Yeah.
Fix himself. Kobe Mainu. Listen, I'm not trying to shit on Kobe Mainu. He's young. He's a young guy, bro. I think with time he'll come back. He'll come. He just needs to adjust
Okay.
to the system. But as of now, I don't think Mainu would do
Yeah,
quite the level of Casemiro.
that's fair. What's your wait? So your name is Miro and you're hating on Casemiro. Let me just get that straight.
Yeah, what's wrong? Bro, I just look at the game.
Okay, dude.
There was
Like
okay, wait. There was that one play in the game where what's it called? I think Luke Shaw made some shit pass, and then they almost scored, and we got a lucky corner.
Are you talking about the goal, the corner for the goal?
No. When I think they made a pass. Luke Shaw made like some shit pass, and then they did a counter, and what's his name? And then a Nottingham Forest shot the ball and it hit his own player. Correct?
I don't remember what you're talking about. I'm sorry.
They
I'm
almost
I'm
scored.
trying to.
The Hudson Odoi cut in. He shot the ball, hit his own player.
Bro, he cut in like 5 times that game. I don't.
Bro, come on, bro. Come on.
I'm trying. You got to give me like a minute or something. Like I
Like
don't
it was
know.
like at the end of the like
Oh,
7.
okay. So he shot his own player. Like he
Yeah.
Ndoye. He hit
That was
Ndoye, and then
poor.
they got a corner.
Dude,
Yeah.
why are we losing the ball there? That's poor. That was poor there.
I mean, okay. I'll be honest with you. I think the problem in this team is that on certain days we're not at it from an attacking sense, right?
Uh-huh.
Like Amarim, like today, would you agree that the 2 goals were just good work from Forest because they're, you know, a good set piece team. Sean Dyche is a good set piece coach, and this is a Premier League team, right? These are Premier League players. Like they're allowed to score goals from set pieces, right? It's we can't sit here and cry like City or Slot and say, listen, we can never concede from a set piece because I don't think there was a massive defensive mistake in both the set pieces that we defended. You know, Ahmad is on the back post, right? Like he's shorter than Gibbs White. He can't really outjump him. So that's
Why
a
is he in the
situation
back
there.
post?
He has to be put somewhere, bro. And the cross just went to the back post. They're defending the rest of the line. So if the ball goes anywhere else in the middle and Murillo or some of the taller center backs get a header against Ahmad, then you're going to say, why is Ahmad in the middle, right? He has to be somewhere.
Yeah, but
Right.
Ahmad's built like a chair, bro. Ahmad's short, bro. He should be countering.
What would okay? Anyways, what
I'm
who's
asking you a question. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm asking you. What do you think?
we need all the players in the box, dude. Like we need our players in the box, and Mbumo isn't much taller than Ahmad either, so one of them has to be in the box,
All right,
and they have to defend the set piece. So like wherever you put him, he's going to be a weakness, and they managed to exploit our weakness. So that's how it went. But who's your man of the match? And I'll bring the other folks in.
Who's my man of the match? I think Bruno is. Bruno or Casemiro, one of those.
All right, cool, man. I'll keep it moving, but please do call in next time, yeah.
Take care, man.
Cool. See ya. All right, that was Miro giving his thoughts. I'll bring in Rishi next. How you doing, Rishi?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I just want to say, Miro shits the bed every single time, but turns up the next day. I now finally understand how Diogo Dalot lives.
It's it's a bit
Because
harsh, bro. But no, but I'll
to
tell you
Dalot
this.
or Miro?
Uh-huh. To
Harsh to
Casemiro.
Dalot or Miro?
To Casemiro. No, no, but I'll tell you what. Listen, like I have nothing against Miro. I think I find it entertaining. Like that's why I want to keep talking to
No, no,
him.
me too, me too.
Yeah,
I said I want him to come on every stream. Miro, bro, if you're listening to this, we love everyone on the stream, man. Please do not take it personally. And knowing what you are like, I know you won't take it personally. That's the best thing about you because you are just in it for the vibes. You don't take things too seriously. And
yeah,
even if we make fun of you, you know it's all cool, right? So I love that about you. Please do come on the next stream.
yeah, for sure. No, but listen, he's not wrong. Listen, to be serious about Casemiro though, you he's not wrong that we could do better in that team, and we could improve on Casemiro. But what he's showing us this season is, I would almost say, better than what we even saw during the Ten Hag season, because I don't remember him like controlling games that well. Now that's probably a factor of how hell for leather we used to play under Ten Hag, right? Where we were constantly giving the ball away, constantly trying counterattacks and all that. So that piece I can kind of understand. But Casemiro this season is starting to look like Casemiro, the 5 times Champions League winner, the Brazil
Yeah.
captain. And I feel like that's what we were kind of missing before. So the only sad thing is, if this was 5 years ago, then we could say, okay, we have
Another
some
5 year
serious problems.
contract.
Yeah, exactly. We no,
Yeah.
if he was 27, 28, right? We're talking a completely different ball game. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, he's on too much money, and looks like they want him to leave. So we can't really do
Yeah.
much about that. But Rishi, tell me. Let's talk about. We've talked about Ahmad. Talk to me about Cunha and Mbumo. What did you feel about their performance today?
I don't know how to explain it. I guess just nothing was clicking. It seemed like they were strangers again today. The not just about the link up play and the telepathy that we saw the last game. Just felt like technically also like there was something missing, misplaced passes, the ball not reaching the teammate, stray passes. They had so many chances to counter us. And I felt this about Cunha even before we signed him. Cunha can go missing in a lot of games, and we are lucky that today it didn't cost us. First of all, I think this is a very good result because, in the grand scheme of things, we are going to see these sort of games a lot, and we will lose a lot of those games. And coming after a 3 game winning streak, if you lose that game, I know we're going to get a lot of brickbats. You're going to get a lot of shit on your video that you put out today, also, right? Oh, what about the patterns of play now? What's happening? But it's all reactionary stuff. And today, I would like to advise the fan base to not be reactionary. It hurts because we think we are a good team. And trust me, we are turning the Titanic. It's going to take a while till we get into that groove. I think this is that
Also,
kind of a
Rishi,
season that,
doesn't it prove that after 3 wins that we're disappointed with the draw in a game where we probably could have lost? That shows you how
absolutely,
far we've come, even from 3 games ago before this, right? Or 4 games
yeah.
ago. Because the
And
expectations that we were putting on ourselves now are completely different to what they were just like a month ago.
absolutely, absolutely. In fact, I would even go to that extent to say that today Forest had more desire. Of course, it was their first home game under Deitch. He coached them brilliantly. I think for the first 3 minutes of the game, they were a little bit under the cosh. But after that, something switched. I think Deitch told them to press us, and they were pressing us relentlessly. Man for man, they had a lot of desire. I think Elliot Anderson had a brilliant game.
They
Uh,
they were pressing with their front two, and then the rest of it wasn't a very intense press, like high press. It was more of a controlled press, a little bit on the
Yeah, this
mid
wasn't
and
like prime Klopp ball. This wasn't prime
yeah,
Klopp ball.
yeah.
But I'm saying
I just
that
want
they
to
had that
clarify that, because
intensity.
when
And
people say,
yeah,
when people talk about, oh, they were pressing us like crazy, it's not like they went hell
no,
for
but
leather and
they
pressed
had
us like no other
intensity.
opponent.
They were
Yeah.
playing man for man. And I don't know if people have noticed this, but we've kind of transitioned from zonal marking to like a more man to man game. It's going back to that prime Barclays era kind of defending where you have to win that individual battle against your man, and that's how they got both their goals, right? Because Gibbs White gets in a very brilliant header. The second, and I think the header, Lomans did very well to actually dive for it, and he If he had got a fingertip, he diverts that past the post. So I'm, all in all, I'm not at all disappointed with the result. Of course, I was very intensely involved when I was watching the game, and things not clicking in the attack. The fan is bound to be upset at his team, right? But this is along that long journey to getting to like being a top ball team, a top ball playing team. This is one of those pit stops. We are lucky that we didn't lose today, because let's be honest, if Forest won that game, you couldn't say that they didn't deserve to win it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Even the first goal that we got, that was a lucky corner that the referee gave us.
Yeah.
So yeah, all in all, just happy that we got a point away from that, and we just go to Tottenham next week.
Yeah, let me just take the super chat, Rishi. Then you give us our your man of the match, right? He says Ahmad redeems himself with the goal, but was ball hogging the ball too much, with effects mostly in Bumo. Forrest's first goal was just well worked. Second goal, second down. So thanks for the super chat. First of all, I would say I don't think it was really Dallow's fault, because guys, when you're blindsided by a player behind you, who is reacting to a second ball like 3 yards away from the goal, it's really hard to get a jump on them, right? Because Dallow's thinking, how do I clear the ball away? And he's thinking in that direction, whereas Savona is thinking in this direction. So it's very hard to be harsh on him. Listen, I'll be the first one to analyze Dallo and call him out for his mistakes, but I saw that goal back a few times, and both the goals, the first one with Ahmad, the second one with Dallo, it's very harsh to say it was their fault. So what I'll say is, I think, look at it this way. Defensively, it's okay to concede those 2 goals, in my opinion, because they have worked hard for them. It's not just lucky goals. They've worked hard. It's good set pieces. And in the Premier League, guys, who's at the top of the Premier League right now? The set piece team, right? Arsenal has scored like 3 times as many goals through set pieces as they have through open play. I think something like that. I remember
Yeah.
reading that. And so it's okay to concede set piece goals. Where I'm disappointed is that this Forest team was open enough for us to go score 4 goals. Like, if we were on it on the attack today, we should have won that game 4-2, right?
Yeah.
Just like we did the Brighton game. But the problem is we were not on it on the attack. So the fact that we scraped 1 point out of this game, this is the type of game that Fergie would have been proud of getting a draw in, right? Because you don't get to control that. Oh, Brighton's supposed to play good against us and Forest can't play well against us, right? You don't get to say like this, such and such team should beat us and such team should lose to us. Sometimes in the Premier League, it's the most competitive league in the world. It's okay to concede those 2 goals, but on the offense, that's where I would be pretty upset. But anyways, Rishi, give us your man of the match, and I'll bring in the next caller.
I think people haven't spoken enough about how immense Delict was today, because if it wasn't for him, we lose that match definitely. I know that the way the goals came about for Forest, it might seem like it was a defensive mistake, but Delict was immense. Even the second goal, right? You might see that it has a very high XG because of how the ball fell like 3 yards away from goal, and it was basically a tap in. But the chance before that, the pass before that, the way we had like 6 players on the ball, and then it just happened to get a lucky touch of the Forest player. So I think, yeah, Delict for me. Delict, absolutely man of the match for me today.
Awesome. Great shot, Rishi. Thanks for calling, man. And if you want to stick around, I'll bring you back in later. Cool. See ya. Ahmad, I want to say, you bring up a good point. I think Dallo did not have a great game today. And Ahmad was worse than Dallo, but his fault mob rating is 8.0 just because he scored, right? So Dallo was poor, Ahmad was poor, and Bumo was poor, Cunha was poor. The only player in our attack that I wouldn't really blame too much is Sheshko, because what is he supposed to do, right? There was no service for him. I really liked how he turned and took that early shot. That's showing me something for the future that I think he can do really well with, right? In terms of the low backlift, quick shot, where he was a little wide of the post, but if he's like a few yards either way, I think that goes in. So out of the 5 attackers that we sort of play with, including the wingbacks, the only person I would not fault is Sheshko. I think everybody else was really poor today. And Dallo included, obviously. I'd say, Andy, I can't understand that despite having 5 defenders on the pitch, we conceded so many goals. it's not that easy, guys, right? Like the MRM system, like I've already explained, it's got, let's say, 6 midfielders. If you're looking at the 2 10s, the 2 central midfielders, and the 2 left center back, right center back, those guys are all kind of midfielders. The wing backs can be wingers or fullbacks, and then the let's say the central center back and the striker are the 2 heads of the diamond, if you will. So I think we can't really blame the defense for the goals, and we can't really only praise the attackers for scoring either. That's the thing with the system. It's really hard to pin down. It's not a simple system, and I think we're conceding because set pieces is really a weakness for us. And Joao says that was a great shot by Seshko. So the reason we're still conceding is because set pieces are a problem, and sometimes we just switch off individually. What I would recommend to you guys is go watch the Statman Dave video on the sort of defensive errors that we've made this season, and his analysis pointed out that 89% of the shots we've had this season come from individual errors, and only 11% from system errors. So I feel like that's great insight that you guys need to go check out. I think I've shouted that out like 4 times now. So that's something to check out. Guys, there's a few people waiting in the stage. If you want to turn your cameras on, I'm going to be pulling in the people with the cameras on first. So let's get Rav, bro. Hey, Rav, how you doing, man?
I'm good, Footy. How you doing, broski?
I'm doing super well, dude. Where are you calling in from? Go on, introduce yourself.
I'm calling in from South Africa, Johannesburg. Big Mank fan.
Nice. You're the second. You're the second South African to join the show. Usually Sherpa's here. Donovan. I don't know if you watched any previous show. Yeah, he's also from South Africa. But nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too. Finally called in. Actually, I want to complain first, Footy. Where do you
Go
keep
ahead.
going? Where do you keep going? You keep disappearing for some time. And we miss your analysis, buddy.
I'm guessing you were watching, even before, like maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So for me, last year, just to set the record straight, if I haven't already, guys. So I got married last year, right?
Oh, congrats!
And I don't. My family doesn't. Yeah, I got the ring right there. But my family doesn't live in Canada as well. So essentially, both me and my wife had to do all of the planning and the whole like wedding planning and everything like that. So I didn't really have time for job plus YouTube plus wedding planning, right?
All right.
So I had to drop one of them. And guys, I can't let go of my wedding, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That's why I stopped. And then,
on that, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks. And then when I came back, essentially, there were some copyright issues with YouTube, and we were playing shit, and Ten Hag got sacked and everything. So I was like, I don't really know about this. And then obviously I got very busy with work as well, so that's why I dropped off. But yeah, fingers crossed, man. I'm here to stay, and nothing will stop me. Because if you see the venom with which I've come back, right? It's not.
Yeah, you've come back.
Not about how you fall,
venom, bro.
Yeah, there you go.
You went at the Athletic, even Stratford Paddock and United Peoples were giving you big shout outs for your analysis, and basically pointing it out that some of the analysis that we get in the media is obviously targeted because of our history. We've got a big history of winning, and a lot of people are sour about that. So bad Man United makes great news, so generally when you came out with that report, it really showed that we missed you.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Oh yeah. On today's game, I was disappointed in Amarim. I felt like he let Elliot Anderson run the game. I felt like we should have been pressing them from the goal kick. I really felt like we thought that they were going to be bad playing. They just had Ange, so they have a little bit of understanding or a better concept of ball playing. So I felt like we should have brightened them right on top of their goal kicks, rather let them kick long. And let's do the second balls. It's something that we've been really strong at. And if you look, the whole game, we played a mid block. We didn't do a high press, and I just felt like we really allowed them to dictate the play. We allowed Elliot Anderson to get on the ball and do whatever he wants, because we assumed that they were just going to counter, and it was a typical Dyke performance. It was like Burnley at its best.
Yeah. That's a good point. I'll say this. I agree with you halfway because I think Amorim definitely knew that Anderson was their best midfielder, and also Douglas Luiz went off early, which was a big hit for them because I think their midfield is stronger if it's Luiz and Anderson. By the way, because I think even Luiz is good in tight spaces; he's a good passer and everything. I think he had a plan for Anderson, but I also think Anderson had a really good game today, right? So you could argue that, you know, maybe we should have had two men on Anderson the whole time, because the amount of time he got them out of like a tight space and put them through on the counter. I think for the first goal he switches the play that leads to the goal as well. So I think that's really good. Observation from you, and I can't really agree with you. Disagree with you too much. I'll just say that, just like they're allowed to score goals from set pieces, I think Anderson's also allowed to have a really good game, which he did today. I think he was their best player by far. In the future,
he had a good game.
Yeah, and this is something that Amorim needs to learn.
He had a better audition than Baleba, if we're being perfectly honest. Definitely had a. But for me, I just felt like, because Anderson was getting the ball easily from goal kicks, you understand me? Like, it was just getting to him. It's like we underestimated how good he is. We had to see it for ourselves that, you know what, actually, let them kick long. Because if they were kicking long, if they were being forced to kick long, Anderson less likely has chances to get the ball in his defensive third, and do the magic that he was doing, and allowing Nottingham Forest to basically play out, no pressure. You get me? And I just felt like Amorim got it wrong there. But at the same time, we had better players on the pitch, in my opinion. The guys
we should have done better. Yeah, we should have done better in an attacking
that
sense. I agree with your point on Amorim, but if you were to rank order the things we got wrong today, I think the first is the attackers who didn't do their job, because Amorim can't go on the pitch and score the goals, right? Like from our team.
Yeah.
Like I think Mbumo, Ahmad, Cunha, Dallo, they were not good enough.
And was a bit faulty today.
It was there, but Cheshko's the last. Again, out of those five, I would put him last in terms of the one I want to blame. I think the attackers would be first, and then you could say, okay, maybe Amorim is second in terms of taking some blame, and he'd be the first one. Like I haven't seen his press conference yet, but I'm sure Amorim will be happy to take some blame for the draw today. But listen, these are the games where, last year we used to go lose like 3 or 4-0 or 4-2 or something like that. But this year
even
we
2-1.
stayed in
even
it.
2-1.
But we stayed in it. We got the draw.
Yeah. I think the boys showed character. Ahmed was having a horrid game, and he showed character, stayed on, and he showed character to get the goal. And for me, it was impressive that we didn't lose. Sorry for Frank and his haircut, United strand. Yeah. But for me, I'm just happy that we didn't lose. We weren't at our best. We should have done better with those little finer details, like those 2 moments where Sheshko and Bumo and Cunha were trying to link up and the touch just wasn't there. I just felt like those little minor details today didn't go our way. And for us to come away with the point from a Nottingham Forest team that was definitely up for it, first game at home in the league. Sean Dyche has definitely had enough time. You can definitely see that, all right, they definitely go in prime.
And they were fighting for their lives, right? Think about this game the same way you think about United's 3-2 win against Burnley, because we had lost to Arsenal, drew to Fulham, and everybody was like, man, if we don't beat Burnley now, what are we going to do going into the break? Yeah, and we just had the Grimsby as well. So you're looking at that game, you're like, dude, we have to go win this game. And I think Forest, in the same way, came into this game saying, we've played 10 games in the Premier League. Marinakis is a crazy guy. He'll probably sell the whole squad if they're going to get relegated, right? So we can't trust him. So we need to play for the fans. We need to play for the team. And that's the energy that we saw in that second half. That's what they were doing. So I agree with that. But who's your man of the match, Raf?
My man of the match, a Man United player.
Like you can give us for the game, and then you can say Man United player.
Look for the game, Elliot for me for
Henderson.
The game. And then for Man United, Casemiro, for me he was solid. For me he was just solid, consistent from in the past couple of games. Finished his 90 performance. I thought after 55 minutes it was a Kobe Mainu game, but he still did what he needed to do. For me he was basically our most consistent performer, other than De Ligt, who didn't put a foot wrong. De Ligt for me, monstrous mountain at the back. You don't even mention him. Not his fault for any of the goals. I don't like him for the Amorim system because I just feel like for that center back, Amorim requires someone who's more ball playing. But the way he's performing this season, it's just undeniable that. Listen, best center back.
He gives everything for the badge. He gives everything for the badge.
Most definitely.
And he's also he's great with in the box as well. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
And I think he's technically and I think he's improving technically or gaining more confidence, that Ajax level of his technical proficiency, because that's the only issue I have with De Ligt, is that somehow between Juventus and Manchester United, in between Bayern and them, he's lost that technical confidence to play out the pass and stuff like that, to play with that ball playing center back way. But other than that, for me, those were my two players for Manchester United. Everybody else needs to get the hubris out of their mind. Yes, 3 games in a row. You guys need to get back to that fight. Mbumo, hustle and bustle, but he just wasn't at it today. Just wasn't at it.
Mbumo and Ahmad did a little bit too much dancing.
Yeah.
It's a little bit too much dancing.
They need to relax with the
just a little bit too much. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But Rob, you smashed it, bro. Thanks for the first call. Great first call. I think people in the chat also liking everything you said so far. So I appreciate it, dude. And please do call in again, bro.
Most definitely. I watch as much as I can, and you're always great. So see you guys next time.
Appreciate it, man. Rav smashed it from South Africa, guys. Our second caller from South Africa. Let me just read some of the chat, and I'll bring in some of the other folks. I think today came down to the midfield battle. Nottingham are far more energetic, and that's why we struggled to recycle the second ball. Yes, when you say midfield battle, I hope you're not talking about the midfielders. It's the general area of the midfield where we kind of struggled, and that includes the wingbacks. It includes the 10s. And they had a really poor game, because I feel like Nottingham was showing a bit more hustle to the first ball, the second ball, and that kind of rattled the physicality of the game. Kind of rattled our forwards today, and I feel like Mbumo, Ahmad, I was really disappointed. Like that pass from Ahmad to Mbumo for the first goal against Liverpool, the weight on that, the timing on that, the perfection from Mbumo to get in behind and get that first goal. That was everything working perfectly. And today, nothing worked perfectly. It wasn't like one or two things that worked perfectly. We got a goal from a set piece. They got 2 goals from a set piece. And then the Ahmad goal was also from a set piece. So all 4 goals came from set pieces. And when it's our strength isn't set pieces, right? Whether it's defending them or scoring them. So we should do a lot better in terms of actually going forward and creating something from open play, and we failed to do that today. So yeah, I would agree the midfield battle was lost. Elliot Anderson, I mean, I don't think Prime Kante is a fair comparison, but he had a good game for sure. United should finish top 6, not looking for title. Yeah, absolutely. I always wonder why most Africans support Man United. I think United in the early sort of 2000s era, right? The Aeon kit and the Vodafone kit and all that, they did a really good job of marketing in both Asia and Africa. So I grew up in India. That's why I'm a United fan. You'll meet a lot of Chinese people that are United fans as well for the same reason. And I think that's the reason that there's a lot of African fans who like Man United. There's also a lot of Chelsea supporters. And I think Arsenal is also a big team in Africa. Andy, what about Polina instead of Yates for depth? Polina's too old, bro. He's like 29 already. And I think Tottenham might want to make that move permanent, or Bayern tries to sell him. I'm not really sure. But let's get some of the other callers in. Let's go. Let's bring Ernest. Ernest, how you doing, brother?
Hello, bro. I'm good, and you?
I am well, thanks. Looks like I'm sorry, I caught you off guard. Maybe I should have given you some.
Oh no. It's good. It's good. Amazing. First of all, Um, I just want to congratulate you on the work you do. Um, and honestly, it was Samix that got me onto you.
Okay, I
So I was,
appreciate that.
yeah, and it was like you have to check this guy out. You have to check this guy out. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
So I went over, and I was like, wow, I was so amazed. And some of the things that I knew about Amorim and his system and it, when I was looking at some of your videos, I said, yeah, I've missed out on a lot. So I just want to say a very big thank you, because a lot of people right now own Amorim, and especially this change that Amorim system has changed this past 3 games. And everyone, and my point is, and after looking at your videos as well, and from what I know, my point is, Amorim hasn't changed. The reason why people are saying that is because we are losing. So when you are losing, you find the formation
yeah.
as
Are
the
you
easiest thing.
Nigerian? To
No,
let everybody know. Where are you
I'm
from?
Sierra Leonean. I'm from Sierra Leone.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody's recognizing the accent. But
Yeah,
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 so
dude, yeah.
that's why I always
I'm
say
from
you got
Sierra
to
Leone.
introduce yourself at first.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I'm from Sierra Leone, but currently I'm in the UK. I'm in the UK, but I'm from Sierra Leone originally. But I live
Okay.
in
How
the
long have you
UK
been supporting United for?
about 20 years now. I've been supporting
Nice.
United for a long time. Yeah, I've seen everything there to see. I've won everything there. So this stage that we are going through, and honestly, I believe in Amorim. And a lot of people out there, they are saying, and I told them, I said, the reason why you people are now saying that he has changed is because we are winning matches. So now that we are winning matches, when you look at the game, you see that things are working well. Oh, then you pick out, oh, that's why we are winning matches, because
Yeah.
he has changed. But if you go back and look at all our previous matches, you still see the same thing. Just that because we are
Yeah.
losing matches, a lot of people, they
Well, so the biggest example is with the long balls, right? Because everybody's saying that, now that we saw the Liverpool game and we did a lot of long balls in that game, it's like unless it is so obvious that it's basically hitting you in the face, we're not going to recognize a pattern, right?
pattern, yeah.
Because we kicked it 70 plus times long that we
That,
kicked it against Liverpool. And so
yes.
are you telling me 70 is a lot and 50 is not a lot?
It's not
Because some games we have hit, like 40, 50 long balls, but
long
nobody pays
balls, yeah.
attention to that. Yeah.
They
Because
don't.
even the Sunderland game where we won 2-0, I think what's his name? Lawmans had 35 long passes against Sunderland, right?
Sunderland, yeah, he did about that.
35 is still a lot. 35 is still a lot, but nobody was talking about long
No,
balls after Sunderland.
no, no. And the reason, and another thing that I made mention to them, I think it was your video as well. I think you mentioned it. It was that by Inda and Onana we are kicking long balls as well, but they were just terrible at doing it. Very terrible at kicking long balls.
Yeah.
And
I would say
also we didn't have the strikers.
Bindier was okay. Bindier was okay
Yeah,
because remember that Fulham pass for Cunha over the top
Cunha,
that
yeah.
he should have scored, but he didn't. But yeah, I agree. So Ernest, give us your man of the match for today.
I think my man of the match, delete Shaw Casemiro. Oh, I think maybe Cassie. I think Cassie did a really good job. But delete and Shaw, they really did a good job as well. But I think
Yeah.
I'll go for Casemiro. One, because of his age. Two, because of the way he has just, as you are saying just now, he has just become like this Cassie that we know, and
Yeah.
even going ahead of, as you were saying, and that was one of the things I was thinking. I said, Cassie is still on and he hasn't made the sub. But then I was looking at the match again. Even me, myself, I was even reluctant for him to even make any changes because yeah, I was reluctant for even him to make changes as well because I was looking at the match and I couldn't see. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know if you, but I was looking at. I said yes, changes. But I looked at what we had on the bench and the way the game was, it was too physical.
Yeah, if you remember the Brighton game, we took Casemiro off and we looked shocking, right?
Shocking.
And I think in this game, maybe Ugarte would have given us a bit more defensive solidity, but we couldn't hold the ball up. So it's hard to say.
Yeah.
And there's a reason. Listen, guys, I want to say something because Ernest has brought this up. Amram isn't just an idiot. Okay. Can we just agree that Amram is not an idiot that's just sitting there? He's never coached before, or he's not up for this level. We've seen enough from him to give him his respect. So if
Yeah.
he's kept Casemiro on the pitch and he's kept Bruno on the pitch,
On the
there's a
pitch.
reason for it, because he's looking at the game state and he's realizing that putting Menu in now or putting Ugarte in now could lead to more defensive errors. And if you don't believe me, go watch the Statman Dave video. Per 90, Ugarte and Menu are the two biggest error-prone players we have in our team.
In our
Right?
team.
Adjusted for the minutes that they're playing. So it's not, I'm not just making something up and saying that for no reason. This is happening, and the club has these analytics available to them. Ruben Amorim has his own eyes.
Right,
He has a
yeah.
whole coaching staff behind him. It's not, let's not pretend like they don't know what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the reason. But Ernest, you smashed it, bro. Thank you for the first
Thank
call.
you.
Are you from
Thank you.
Freetown, by the way? Where are you from in Sierra Leone?
Yeah, Freetown, yeah.
Nice.
Who said
Awesome.
that? Someone mentioned it, right? Or who said that? Did someone
No,
in the
I
chat
just
say-
I'm okay with world capitals. I like to
World
like to say it.
capital. Oh.
Yeah.
That's
But,
amazing.
awesome,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Nice to talk to you, man. And please call in again. See ya.
I will definitely take care.
Take care. All right. Yeah, great first call from Ernest, man. I like people who come and give good energy, you know, because that's what I'm looking for. That's what I try to do with my channel as well, is be super positive and try to help you guys see something that maybe, you know, is not easily available out there. But let's bring in the next caller. We'll bring in Marcy. Marcy, how you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm pretty good. How you doing?
I am well, thanks. Go on, introduce yourself. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Texas, but I'm originally from Ghana.
Nice to meet you, man. Wait,
Nice to
isn't
meet you.
Semenyo is Ghanaian, right?
Semenyo, Kudus, Hudson Odoi, who played against us today, he's Ghanaian.
Yeah.
All them folks, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
so,
Semenyo is looking electric right now, man. He would be so good in any team.
There's something strange about Semenyo. Anytime he plays for Ghana, he doesn't look that good. You know, we rate him in Ghana, but I'm gonna be honest with you, we don't look at him like he is the person that's gonna move the team to the next stage. We don't see him that way. Because in Ghana, we got seriously talented players. Like for
Yeah.
real.
Well, Kudus
Like-
is really good too. Kudus is also really good.
Yeah, but in Ghana, we play Kudus as number 10, and we play this guy in Leicester City called Fatawi Shawaku on the right. And he is like, when he gets on the ball, he is equally as good. You'll probably see him at the World Cup. You'll probably see him. Yeah,
right.
so my thoughts on the game, I think people are not saying this a lot, but I think the system that Amorim set up was how he set up, like, it was exactly how we play. I don't think there was a problem with the system, but I think Sondheim did two tweets that actually like made the players a little bit confused. First and foremost, when we started the game, we had Hudson Odoi was on the wings, and he was touching the wings right on the left. But around like the 30th minute of the game, he kind of moved central. So anytime they were doing transitions, Hudson Odoi was the one getting on the ball, not Gibbs White. So they were overloading our midfield. But in the second half, Sondai was like, oh, it looks like we have found that space that we can overload. So he made Hudson Odoi move back to the flank, and he changed Morgan Gibbs White's position to overload Ahmad. So Ahmad was a 2v1 the entire fucking game, and he was struggling. But anytime, how we play as Man United is, anytime you have a marker and you lose him, you pass him on to the next guy behind you. So that has to be Euro. But Euro was like hesitant on coming to the wing and defending that. So Ahmad had to drop deep and be the 5 and be like the 5 in defense, which was the biggest problem. So I think that's why that explains the Mazraoui change, because he needed somebody that could get on the ball and can also defend and be on Gibbs White. Because if you clearly look at the first goal, they overloaded Ahmad. That's why Gibbs White was the one on Ahmad, because they, of course, these coaches know that if we put Ahmad and Gibbs White on the head-to-head, as in who's going to hit the ball, Ahmad is going to lose, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a fault that, oh, yeah, this coach made a mistake or that, oh, Chelsea just scored. Interesting.
Oh, I haven't even looked at the scores today. Like, what happened for the rest of the league? Oh,
Yeah.
Chelsea's 1-0 up against Tottenham.
Yeah, he's
The
had
best
two
result
chances
for
already.
us in this game. Best result for us in this game is a draw. By the way, if anybody's watching.
Oh, that's true. That is so true.
Yeah, because Chelsea with a win is putting us back in 6th place. But if it's a draw, I think they go to 15 and Tottenham is at 18.
18.
So we will be 5th if Chelsea and Tottenham draw this game.
I mean, Arsenal are running away with the league. I just don't like that.
Well, listen. For anyone that's getting stressed about Arsenal, I think they had a better start that first season when they competed with City. When like 19 games in, they had only dropped like 5 points or something, and then they ended up bottling the league. So, listen, I'm sure Mr. Harambal himself has something special for the London fans. But let's see.
I mean, I'm gonna say this that's gonna make all these fans angry, but the haram ball is not gonna last. Like set pieces, it gets to a point where it starts to like wear off. And if you're 17th in the league for open play goals, that is bad. That is actually pretty bad. Because you're supposed to be the best team. Let's be honest. Like you got to be
Yeah,
dominating, not just set pieces.
I think there's no problem with scoring set pieces, but you also need to show the open play goals. That's your point. Right?
Exactly, because set pieces are always a plus. It shouldn't be your tactic. If it's your tactic, then you are not different from Tony Pulis.
No, also like I can even see like 50% of your goals coming from set pieces. Like that's a stretch, that would be an outlier season. They have like 70-80% of their goals coming from set pieces. Like you can't have that. And let's not forget they scored like 5 goals against Leeds. So how many of those were, the open play goals that they did score?
Was like
and then
only
the rest
2?
then the rest of the season they've only been scoring set pieces. So
I mean, today they won based on set pieces again. So
yeah,
it is what it is. It is what it is.
Anyways, Marcy, who was your man of the match today?
I mean, on popular opinion, my man of the match was Ahmad because he felt. I think Ahmad felt that the reason why they came in the game, like they came back in the game, was because of him when he lost the header. Because already he had gone 50-50 with Morgan Gibbs White, and Gibbs White had pushed him. And the second time was when Gibbs White scored. So I think he felt like he had to do something, and that's why he was ball hogging, but at least he could move us forward. And Mbeumo and Cunha were very lackluster, and I don't really blame them. I kind of felt like Sesko was way off, and they were trying to play off Sesko. Because if you know, our attack is always like right-sided, and we always overload the right side, right? And Cunha will move right. But the problem was when they found that we couldn't move right, they were trying to play through the center, and Sesko was really struggling. Anytime they hit a cross, Sesko would not be in place, which is very strange. I don't remember Sesko winning a header in the game. So I think you can't really blame them like that.
Well, I would also say our crossing, the quality of our crossing has to improve. Right? The quality of our crossing this season in general has not been very good. I watch all these other Premier League teams, man. They have this amazing like looped ball to the back post, The only good cross we put in today, we scored from. Like I actually put in my game notes because I take notes when I watch the game. That cross from Bruno, he doesn't do that like 9 out of 10 times. Because he always has a flat cross, right? Or he has a cross that goes to the back post, but he doesn't put that nice like bending ball, almost like a finesse shot from the edge of the box that goes in top bins, right? If you put in a cross like that, that's much easier to score, but we don't really do that. So our crossing quality needs to improve.
Yeah, because Bruno hits a lot of in-swinger crosses as opposed to out-swinger. If you watch Kevin De Bruyne's crosses very well, most of his crosses are out-swingers. But we hit a lot of in-swinger crosses because we play with like left person playing on the right side or right person playing on the left side. So that is like one of the basic problems with our crossing. And we don't hit first-time crosses. I have never seen a United player hit a first-time cross. Diego Dalot will put his foot on the ball. Mbeumo will put his foot on the ball, and Ahmad will put his foot on the ball. That's why we rarely score from crosses. But we have a 6'5" player in the middle, and we are not hitting first-time crosses. If Alexander Arnold was in our team, Sesko would have at least 10 goals by now. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, I don't know about 10, but yeah, maybe like 5. But yeah, Marcy, you smashed it, brother. Thanks for the shouts, and I'll be looking for what's the Ghanaian player you said, the right-sided guy?
Fatawu Sawaku. I think he's the number 7 for Leicester.
Okay. I'll check him out, bro. Thanks. Good shot.
All right, you too.
Thanks, brother. All right, Marcy calling in from Texas, man. Smashed it again on the first call. If you guys are hearing some feedback, I think that was from Marcy's side because he was using a speaker. It wasn't really from my side. And then I think Ahmad mentioned lower the volume. Are you talking about me or are you talking about Marcy? I found the game so stressful. I'm glad we didn't lose. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. All right, let's bring Cody onto the show. Hey Cody, how you doing? You're muted. You're muted. You're still muted. You're
I'm
muted.
muted. I'm
Okay,
muted.
yes.
There we go. Hey, I'm from Georgia, calling in from Georgia. I am devastated by this
Where in
result.
Georgia are we? Atlanta, Savannah? Where are you at?
Out in Athens, near the University of Georgia. Go Dogs.
Nice.
So I was really hoping this game we would show the league that we could just demolish a lower mid block so that they would know that they had to press us. And then as they press us, we could play to our strengths and do the long ball, win the second ball strategy that's been doing so well the last 3 games. I feel we showed that the best way to beat us for the rest of the year is going to be sitting in that mid block and making us play through. And that with these players, we can't do it. I mean, we're playing 1 game a week. And it looked like they got drunk and were hungover from Halloween or something in this game, because most of the issues I saw was a refusal to run. In the final third especially, there were no runners. It was very static. People were just kind of pinging the ball around and hoping on individual moments. There was no, when you play against a low block like that, you really got to have the selfless runners running off the ball, knowing they're not going to get it, just to move defenders around. And we didn't see any of that in this game from anyone. Ahmad, I wasn't really impressed with this game. I feel like, especially during build-up, he was playing way too high up the pitch with the forwards as opposed to tracking back and getting in those diamond build-up shapes that he's supposed to be the outside edge for, which caused a lot of issues when it came to ball retention. I think he was looking to be played through as opposed to being, willing to track back and trust the patterns of play.
Well, I think more than the tactics today, or the, let's say, the following of the instructions, which is what you're talking about.
Right.
It was that they seemed like they were a second or two behind the game. That was the big problem for me, because the problem was Mbumo was passing just behind or just ahead of Ahmad. They were kind of slow to get their touches into position. They weren't sharp today, right? It felt like these guys were playing without a preseason. They look like Liverpool players, right? And that's the worst thing you can say about any team right now. And I feel like the biggest problem for me, or the most disappointing thing for me, was Mateus Cunha, because he did some good things, don't get me wrong, and he was dropping deep and trying to do his work, but he just seemed like a flair player today, right?
He was sluggish.
Normally, normally he reminds me of let's say a little bit of the Eden Hazard, but somebody who can work hard, right? Because Eden Hazard didn't do any off the ball work, and when he decided he wanted to play, he would play. And Cunha looked more Hazard than Cunha today. And that was a problem. Like I feel like
that way across the line. Like I said, there was a whole lot of ball watching and waiting for the ball to come to you to work some magic, as opposed to trying to make space for other members of the team, especially in the final third. I'd say Cass, people are calling him man of the match. He looked really good anytime I was focused on him because he was near the ball, but anytime the ball was away from him and we were trying to build up some diamonds to get the ball moving through the midfield, I mean, he wasn't there, and we had to switch it back to the center backs and try and play it out that way. And we lost possession many times because of that. And I don't know I don't know whether to blame the players for that or whether they got weird instructions for Amrim, because maybe he was not confident that our free man would be able to turn against Anderson in the midfield or something. So he told them to try and play more in behind. Like, there was one point where we'd gotten a nice diamond on the right side of the field, and Brian was at the tip, and instead of waiting for the ball to then play runners past him, he just started sprinting out the diamond and running in behind. And that was in the first 10 minutes, and we had to switch play because of that. And I feel like a big part of those misplaced passes and passes behind is that this system really relies on players being positionally sound and knowing where players are going to be before they get there. And if players aren't getting there, of course, the ball's not going to be where the player is, because they're putting the balls where the player should be, not where the player is.
Yeah.
And
Cody, who was your man of the match today? Like, actually, let me ask you, who did you like from Forest? And before you answer that, by the way, Chelsea versus Tottenham, guys, 0.03 to 0.08 xG in 45 minutes. Like who it like we're talking about our players being sluggish. Like is this what we're going to see from Tottenham
Everyone
next
stayed
week?
out too
Like,
late trick-or-treating last night, apparently.
yeah, dude, what the hell? But anyways, yeah, so tell me who you liked from Forest today.
I liked Anderson. I think he'd be a good addition to the squad. I wouldn't put all my hopes and dreams in him being our like ultimate long-time starter at the position, but I think in a team that definitely needs some depth, he'd be good on the roster sheet. And then for
United, who's your man of the match for United?
There was no one I was super impressed with today, to be honest. Maybe Bruno, although maybe I should give props to Delo because he had a better game than Ahmad today, which is rare. One thing I do have to say about him, he had great first touch this game, as opposed to prior games.
Let's hold the superlatives. He was great compared to his previous game.
He was average on his. He was he
was okay. He controlled the ball. Yeah, he controlled the ball.
I'd be a happy man.
Yeah, that's for sure. And again, I don't want to get carried away, and I want to clarify that he had a better game than Ahmad because Ahmad had a shit game.
It was a horrible game.
So it was not that Dallo did something great. But anyways, Cody smashed it, man. Thanks for the first time call, and hope you can call in again.
Take care.
All right, we've got Rushi waiting for a long time, so we'll bring him in. Hey, Rushi, you're muted, by the way.
Hey, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How you doing?
I'm good. So, hi.
Where are you calling in from?
Yeah, so I'm from Pune, India. So, yeah.
I went to school in Pune, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Where?
Yeah. Do you know MIT Gurukul?
Yeah.
Which is yeah. So I went to school. Yeah. So you must be like in Hadapsar. Is that where you are? Where do you stay?
No. So it's in Kothurud. So you have MIT,
nice.
MIT in Hadapsar. Maybe that's all.
Yeah. But nice. Anyways, nice to meet you, man. Cool.
Hey,
give us your thoughts on the game.
Yeah. So firstly, I've been hearing a lot of takes, and I think mostly are correct. What I think is what people fail to understand is this team is not the team that you would want to go and give Arsenal a particular challenge for the title, right? You have to make sure that they are basically doing the basic things right, and that's what I think Amorim is trying to do right now. The second thing is, if you see Dice team, they are mostly physical team, right? And that's where I think mostly we went down there, right? We failed that battle or the challenges that you would want our players to do, and both goals came from it. One was silly mistake, right? And the other one was mostly Dallo and Delete going into a header and then missing it out, and then the goal went down, right? So yeah, I think it was a kind of a pre-game before let's say Tottenham, who are mostly on the set pieces, as Thomas Frank, right? So yeah, it was a good challenge for us, and we kind of saw that we still lack some of the things there on set pieces, and maybe we can work on that till the next game and see what happens. But I think overall top 6 is the best that we can hope for as United fans, and see what happens in the next year. And for Cisco,
I think the fact that, again, guys, we need to realize the fact that we are disappointed that we're not closer to Arsenal after this game shows you how things have changed compared to just a month ago, right?
Yeah.
So this is good. Sometimes, let's say you're a student in a class that's like, near the bottom, you're getting D's consistently. And then you turn it around and a few exams, you just like get A's, A pluses. And now you're getting disappointed for getting a B on a test, right? And it's like, well, still much better than a D, isn't it? So that's how we need to look at this right now. And if you guys could stick
one more point for attackers, I feel that our attackers had a bad game, but I feel Sesko was the right choice to keep till the 90th minute, right? Because of the headers and everything. What he failed to do was get those headers, right? Be forceful with the defenders, and I think he'll learn in the next season. Mostly, he's trying to get the hold of this league right now, and that's what we can hope for. Dorgu did good. Cunha, Mbuemo, Ahmad, and Dallo had a bad game, totally. but they were still fighting for. That's what is important in the team. They did not, basically put their heads down. And Amorim did say in his post conference that, yeah, in the earlier matches, we used to, basically go more goals down if something like this happened with, conceding 2 goals in a short span of time. We used to, put our heads down, but I think we kind of gave that fight. We tried
Yeah.
to win the game, and that's what is important. And we move on. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. A draw is a good result. Who's your man of the match?
Dillit. I think he
Tillich?
was good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was good, and he's been good so far in all the games. He's been the consistent starter for us in all the games, and that is what is important, Paul. Because if you have a good defense, and then you can move to the other parts
Build
of
on
the
it.
pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cool. Rushi,
Thank
you
you.
smashed it, man. Thank you for the first time call, and please do call
Yeah.
in again.
Yep. Will do.
All right, we'll bring Nelson to the show after Casemiro's had another good game. Nelson, how are we feeling?
Did he? To be fair, you can hear me, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Bro, are you sitting in some gaming studio? What's going on?
There's a bunch of stuff behind. There's like another PC there.
Okay.
We have like a PC room here. Casemiro did have an okay game for me. He didn't make any mistakes, like any big mistakes or anything that. I still think this is the game that I thought Brighton might bring to us, a more physical game. And it's clear that we struggled with the team that just outmuscled us. The reason why Cunha, I know, I think it was a Ghanaian fan. I didn't get it. I didn't catch his name.
Marcy.
I think Cunha. The reason why Cunha was played so poorly this game is he actually utilized a lot of his physicality very well, and a team like Nottingham Forest really pushed him a lot. Every time he never had a second to like get the ball, progress, look at where he's supposed to go. Anderson and Douglas Luiz played well, but Yates came in and actually played fairly well too.
Yeah, Yates was good. I said this earlier in the stream. I don't know if you caught it. I said he would be a good player for us to get in terms of squad depth. I really like him. Got good Premier League experience. If we want to put him in 20 minutes at the end or play him in the cup games, I think he's a good shout. Plus, we're going to need a lot of squad depth next year if we're going to get into the Champions League and all that.
To me, genuinely, and maybe I'm being aggressive, but I would have preferred the first two. I like Luiz more. There was a point where I think reports had marked us with Douglas Luiz.
Yeah, we've been in for him for a long time. Luiz is like the Gareth Bale of like,
or like if you remember Gaitan was a guy with
Nicholas Gaitan as well.
Oh my days. But if you look at, to be fair, and I know at some point you'll ask who's my man of the match. I don't think any of our players played well in this game, even though we did draw. I think this is exactly as everyone has said, this is a Sean Dyche performance. He doesn't want you to play well, but at the same time, he just wants he plays not to lose. That's all. He's more happy that we drew. And to be fair, this is actually I know a lot of people, I know you're preaching positivity, and I'm with you. But to be fair, this is actually a bad game for us because this is the first win they've had in the Premier League in I don't know how many games.
Well, it's a draw. It's a draw, bro.
Oh, sorry, a draw. No, they've lost so many games that this draw actually looks like a win for them.
So they've had two other draws before this. And if I can pull up their fixture list.
Yeah. Because I know they lost to Bournemouth the last game.
Yeah, so they drew to us, they lost to Bournemouth. But listen, the Bournemouth game, it was a long shot and they scored from a corner.
True.
Right? So it's not like they played crap against Bournemouth. And it was also away, right? And they've drawn to Burnley at away.
Yeah.
And they also drew to Crystal Palace away. And then after that. But listen, that's also has a lot to do with, Ange and Nuno and all that circus they've been going through.
Yeah.
To have three full-time managers in 10 games, bro, you know how whack that is?
It's ridiculous.
But
all three different styles. For me,
your point is you had higher expectations from us in this game. That's
correct.
Where you're getting.
My at the point when we realized that they were being extremely physical to us, I actually called a crazy shout. I thought we should have brought in Xerxes because of the height thing. Because it was clear Milenkovic is the same height as Sesko, or maybe
For
taller.
who? For who?
For Cunha. And honestly, because
Okay.
Cunha was negated this game. He really didn't play well for me. Except that one nice shot that the way he's able to like make a half chance and
That was crazy. That was crazy, dude. I saw something there where I was like, listen, I don't care what happens today, but that's gonna help us in this season get at least 4 or 5 goals like that.
100%. His ability to make like these random shots.
He's got very clean
so
feet.
Quick. But that's what I thought we should have matched a little bit of the physicality. I think our midfield too, again, really good. Bruno and Casemiro played well. And as the other caller said,
can I give you a shout, Nelson? I want to get your reaction to this.
Go on.
I think in the 55th or 60th minute, he should have taken off Ahmad and brought on Mazraoui as the right wing back.
Yes.
I'll tell you why. Because the physicality that you're talking about, Ahmad struggled with it the whole game.
The whole game.
Mbeumo is becoming the new Bruno, right? Where he just plays 90 minutes every game. And listen, he can pull the magic out of the game, and he's our best finisher in this team. So I can't really blame Mbeumo. But I actually think bringing on Ahmad, Mazraoui for Ahmad, and then later in the game putting on Xerxes for Mbeumo would have made more sense, because Cunha, he still has the physicality to tussle with these guys, right?
Yeah.
He had enough dribbles. Did you see that Berbatov spin that he did near the touch? That was some saucy stuff, right? So I think that would have been the play. I think Mazraoui at right wing back is something we really needed in this game. And he took Euro off and brought Mazraoui on. And I thought personally that was the wrong call. Because Ahmad didn't deserve 90 minutes in this game.
I disagree I think the reason why he only kept Ahmad is because he scored. I agree with you there. I think Ahmad scored and he went, I'm just going to keep him because he might.
No, but Ahmad scored in the 81st minute, and Mazraoui's brought on for Euro in the 77th.
Oh, 77th. Right? It was quite close.
And so even in my opinion, if we bring Mazraoui on in the 60th minute, we're much better physically because Mazraoui can invert and play in the midfield as well. He takes care of the ball. Okay, he's not as good in an attacking sense, but what we needed in that game was just crosses, and he would be a right footer on the right side, putting in crosses for Šeško, putting in crosses for Cunha, whoever there was, and that would have been a good call. But again, with Xerxes, man, the problem is he's like a 6'4" player who wants to be a 5'8" player, you know?
Right. But I think in this game that would actually have worked well for us, because the way they try and foul Cunha wouldn't have worked with Xerxes. Xerxes is a bit bigger. He's a unit, and in last season, he's
got very clean feet. He's got very good feet
and the strength, which is one of the things that if you look at last season, a lot of times he played. It's just that he doesn't like being in the box. That's the issue with him. He wants to be like a 10, and which would have helped us hold the ball more in the final third. I disagree with you on one thing. I think Len Yoro had one of his worst games this game. I think they noticed he was a press trigger for Odoi. Go watch it back. Hudson-Odoi.
No, I saw it.
Yeah, every time, because he looked like he was backpedaling constantly. Every time the ball was played to him, he would never control and pass. He's always letting the ball run.
He was a little nervous. He was nervous.
Very nervous.
Yeah.
So I think the reason why he brought in Mazraoui was Mazraoui is so confident on the ball, a much better ball progressor. I agree with the Ahmad switch, but the problem is if you remove Len Yoro, your only option is Maguire.
Who did we have on the bench? Hold on.
Yeah, I don't actually know.
I think Maguire was injured. Okay. Heaven, we could have brought Heaven on.
Oh, Heaven's a good show.
To play as maybe left center back, and then you move De Ligt to the right. I don't know, something.
Yeah, you'd have figured it out.
Yeah, he could have figured it out. And I think, so for me, look, I don't hate your shout. I mean, I don't think Euro had an amazing game. I don't think I said that either. Yeah. But I don't mind anything you've said. I think even if you did take Cunha off and brought Xerxes on, but you can also see why he didn't do that, because sometimes Xerxes can just be useless.
Yeah, right? And he doesn't track back as much, which is an issue. Yeah. He doesn't.
So we could have, and listen, guys, we could be sitting here, you know, for all the people that want to say Menu should have played, Ugarte should have played for 20 minutes, who want to say Xerxes should have played, you know, whatever your shouts are, we could have easily ended this game with the 2-1 loss or a 3-2 or 3-1.
Hey, that Ahmad shot at the end, he honestly.
Oh, that was a crazy goal line.
Yeah.
Any other day, that's like a pinball machine going into the net, you know, hitting like 3 other players and going into the net.
Yeah.
But Nelson, dude, great shout. Just why don't you just wait for like 5 minutes? I'll bring a few of the regulars in, but I want to give a few other people chances, and then we can have a longer chat.
No worries.
Cool. Let's bring Art Gambler and Armchair Sportsman onto the channel. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? Hey, Andy, I love your content. Semix I like the conversation you guys had, and I bumped into you. You're doing an excellent job. Yeah, as for the game today, you know what? I just see it quite different.
Give us a name and tell us where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Vienna, not Virginia, Ohio River, but from Austria.
Okay, right, nice.
Yeah, okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And
anyway,
and what's your name?
I'm Andre.
Andre, nice to meet you, Andre. Go on.
Yeah.
Sorry, give your take.
Andy Andres is quite similar. Yeah. I actually, you know what? We just got to be honest that the whole team has really evolved. It's just gotten so much better. I don't know what everybody's complaining about. Let's just face it. Manchester United is exactly there where it's supposed to be. So we're not so much better. We're not so much first, so much ahead. We're pretty much where we're supposed to be. And there are little tweaks that are improving with time. So I see a lot of things have changed. As for this game, what I really kind of miss is that the defense didn't step up. And the last game, everybody stepped up. So there were more options to play. I didn't think Ahmad played that bad. He just didn't. Mm-hmm. They really locked them down. Mobile and Ahmad were pretty locked down on the right side, and Euro didn't step up, or the midfield didn't come out to help them out. So I think that was a key problem. As for Sesko, I didn't think he was bad. I just think there's a lot of key passes that are not yet functioning. Is he running in the back? Is he sticking into the middle? There's a lot of the communication isn't quite there.
Yeah, it's nearly. It's a lot of nearly, and I feel like Šeško, the way the system is designed, can almost only have a good game if the 10s are playing really well, if the wingbacks are putting in good crosses, right? That's what it seems like right now. And, like Gary Neville is probably pointing to that game and saying, oh, look, I told you guys Šeško wasn't that good. But guys, the whole front line wasn't good today. And so singling out Šeško seems very harsh. What I did like is that that neat feat to sort of get that first time shot off that he did. That was really good. And I'm seeing stuff from him. What I want to see, if I was Amorim, I'd be challenging the squad to say, you guys need to put more crosses into the box and get better with your crossing. And one way that I can see us doing that is having the strong-footed wingback on the strong side. So having Dalot or Mazraoui on the right and having Ahmad or Dorgu on the left-hand side. But again, we don't want to disrupt the Ahmad and Mbumo combinations on the right-hand side because they've been doing well. Which means on the left-hand side, we probably need Dorgu to start playing a lot better and getting ahead of Dalot. And that's something I really want to see because we're not putting in enough crosses into the box for 6'5" striker. Like, we just need to be doing better.
Yeah, but I'd like to contend also. I think sometimes the idea where they're passing to is kind of missing. It's just kind of like a blind pass somewhere. Okay, somebody somewhere. Hopefully, it happened a couple of times. So I kind of the last clicking idea where Sesko is actually where it's purposeful for him to be, on the back post or in the middle or step back a little bit. I think that's still missing. That last click in that thing. But the great thing is one thing we got to just, how many people are in the Manchester United just got a lot more players in the penalty area. That hasn't been like that for an incredibly long time. So I just see a lot of progress and a lot of evolvement. It's just not clicking in the small things. I think the problem with the midfield today was simply that the defense did not step up as they did in the last game. I thought actually Shaw did a pretty good, had a pretty good game in the first half. I was pretty impressed. Euro was a little weak. I just didn't think he stepped up. They were scared of the high ball over the top a little bit too much. But definitely, I think the weak side is just the left side. We just need another Ahmad on the left side or somebody with that technical ability. I always kind of fantasize of having Xerxes out there and give that guy a shot out on the left. Because he's technically good, and the combination with him and Cunha would just be a dream for me, So that's I think the only thing that's really missing. But I just see the whole team has evolved, and I'm pretty satisfied. I don't think the game was so bad today.
It wasn't, and I'll say one more thing, Art. We need to realize, guys, just because we won 3 games in a row, that this squad isn't a league title winning squad, right?
Exactly.
Look at how many seasons and how much investment it took Arsenal to get to where they are right now. And if we think that having one good summer is going to fix everything for us, it's not. Because everything that Art talked about, everything that everyone's talked about, we have Euro in the team who's better against the counterattacks, which was important today. So I know you guys are frustrated with Euro, but listen, if he doesn't have that pace and we start with Maguire and De Ligt instead, we see different problems in that game today instead of what we saw. And then if you start Maguire, he's great with the headers, great with, maybe a little bit better passer, but then, pace is his problem. So in every position that you look at, we have one or two problems. This squad is, I would, go as far as to say not even 50% complete. Right, we've started fixing the top of the squad very well, which is Šeško, Cunha, and Bruno. These are let's say our 4 or 5 best players, but the rest of the squad, the depth in the squad is not good enough. It's a very top heavy team, right? It's like a basketball team that has 5 starters and no bench. Right, so you don't have a 6th man, you don't have anybody else.
Though he's looking for stability, and I think this is what he's creating.
Yeah.
Once you have the stability, then you can add whatever the younger players or whatever concepts he has for the future. So I just see absolutely. I'm not complaining at all. I think Manchester United is exactly where they are. They're playing exactly in this midfield of the Premier League. So I'm actually quite positive. I mean, just think how much better we've gotten in over a year. It's just so much more fun to watch, and things are happening. We get people in the penalty area, shots are being taken, we hit the post and everything. So I actually think it's so much better. And I think we should just lower our expectation, just really be a little bit more satisfied of whatever positive things have been happening. And I think a lot of good stuff has gone on. And I really think, I don't think they were really bad. I thought it was a mediocre game. It's a mediocre team right now. That's where we are. And we're doing pretty good.
We're overperforming based on where we are, and that's Art's point. But great point, man. Who's your man of the match?
De Ligt, 100%. I love the guy. He's the pure stability in the defense. Without him, I mean, Maguire wouldn't have fit in this game today, I don't think. But De Ligt is just, for me, it's like having lemons on the back. It's just security. I feel good he's there, and I know he can just clean it out in the right moment. And he's just, he's just everywhere in the defense. I love the guy. He's real good choice. Yeah.
Great shout, Andre. Awesome first call, man. Thanks for calling in, and please do call in
again. Keep up the good work, Andy. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, man. See ya. All right. Cool. Let's bring in Armchair Sportsman, and then we'll bring in the panel right after that. So stay tuned. Rav, Rishi, Nelson, I'm looking at you guys. Hey, how you doing, man? You're muted, by the way.
Yeah, hi. What's up? How are you doing?
Good.
I've been following you for a while, actually. In fact,
30,000. Yeah. Introduce yourself first. Tell us where you're calling from, and then go with your takes.
Cool. So I'm actually calling from, as you can see, from the Old Trafford, but just kidding. I'm calling from Bangalore. Yeah. My name is Rohit, and so just to start off, as a quick thought, what I liked about the game is we did not capitulate like we generally do, but there was those nasty habits of losing initial goals that we had right after the halftime, going down 1 or 2 goals that we did in the last season. That those nasty habits are still there, and just shows how much more we need to actually work on ourselves in this season, and we are not there yet, to be honest. But I feel Amorim could have probably made more aggressive substitutions. Probably bring in Mount, bring in Xerxes instead of just making defensive. Probably getting in Drago for instead of Delo was needed. But I think he could have used substitutes more.
Are you worried that we could have conceded though? Because Forest looked really good on the attack as well, and they definitely had the momentum from the crowd and everything like that, and more than that, belief that they could get a set piece goal.
Yes, but we need to slowly start stamping authority over teams. Yes, it's still in the early stages, but yes, we brought in Mazraoui, we brought in the defensive substitutions were made, but then bring in the Mount, bring in a Xerxes, see what happens, throw them in and see if we can change up something, because there was nothing really much changed during, at least from the attack perspective. Cunha had a very average game. Yes, he's good, an average game, but uh, Bruno, I love the guy. He's damn good. I mean, the feint that he did the last match, or the first time cross that he pulled out the match before against Liverpool. He's good, but try tweaking the system. I know we lose every time. We don't make him play or anything like that, but change something. I would have liked to see if you could have brought in somebody who was Mount would have been like a pit bull in the midfield, right? He could have given the defensive cover.
I would agree. I would agree about the Mount shout, because at least Mount doesn't cost us defensively, and maybe Mount for Cunha, Mount for Bumo, something like that could have worked. But Xerxes, I struggle with, because he's not, unless you're replacing Šeško with Xerxes. Unless you're talking about rotating with Šeško. But the problem is that, again, our depth isn't very good. But Rohit, give us your man of the match, man.
I would probably go with either Delit, or I would even go with. In fact, I did like how Ahmad played. I know you have a different perspective on this. I did not mind how Ahmad played. Yes, in the first half of the second half, the first part of the second half, he was not great. He was getting bossed over. But in the first half, he played well. In the second part of the second half, he was decently. He got muscled out in the box, in our box. But yeah.
All right.
I would
cool.
Say Delit.
Yeah.
I would say Delit.
That's a pretty good shout. I mean, again, with Ahmad, the problem was the things that he's good at. He's in the team for his attacking work. He was poor at, and then his defensive work, he's not good at anyway.
He's not a wing back.
For it. Yeah.
He's not a wing
anyways,
back.
Yeah. Rohit, great shouts, man. Thanks for the first time call. I'm going to bring the panel in, but please do call in again.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, man. All right. Time for the heavy hitters. Let's go. We have Poppy PK showing his face.
Hi. Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, bro. We can hear you.
Okay, good to hear that.
I
So,
think
how's everyone doing?
Is Rav
Papi
frozen?
PK, hold on, dude. Brother, how old are you?
I'm 18.
You're papito. You're more papito than papi, bro. You're a baby.
Papinho.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just recently turned 18. Like,
and I recently turned 36. You're half my age. I could be your papi.
I mean, just
I'm just playing, bro. Please don't mind me. Don't mind me. I'm just surprised and taken away at
I love the match.
how young you are. And you're a huge part of the community, bro. So, big up to you, man. Big up. I didn't know Andy had 18-year-old fans.
Yeah.
No.
I think. But wait, why are you muted, bro? What happened? Maybe someone's in this room with him.
Yeah.
But our future fan right here, yeah, this is the future of Man United, guys. He's gonna hold the torch long after we're gone. Just kidding. I'm 31, by the way, so I'm not. I got a little bit more better in terms of the ratio for me and Poppy's age. He says he's learning. He's learning to talk. Guys, come on. Let's not
drag on the. Let's not.
Yeah,
we are not dragging on the kid. This kid is a hero.
Yeah.
This kid is a hero because he's been a fan when we've been shit.
Yeah.
So he's a hero. This kid. I want to hear more from you, Papi. I want to hear more from you, Papi. I want to hear how you got into supporting United. What's your story?
Okay. So I'm sorry for the muting, but I had some noise outside, but what's it called? So I started supporting United 2 to 3 years ago. It was due to a friend of mine who's from South Africa. Before I graduated, but I had been following United before, just not as much as after I started supporting them. So yeah, but it's been a journey, especially during Eric Ten Hag. Second season, first season, something like that. So yeah, and especially last season, where I had some no comments. It was just horrible to see,
But
And
at least, Papi, you know,
mhm,
in Man United tradition, you
yeah,
still saw us win some titles.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we have won some titles, but you know, not to like win more and titles and just
You need to see a
like
Premier League, basically.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know, like I haven't like watched the Premier League until like after COVID, due to like broadcasting issues and like that. But yeah, like it's been a journey, but after seeing like the results and how been like very shit basically like over the last 2 to 3 years, I'm seeing more improvements overall, especially from the players and Amarim. Like Amarim has like changes like this season. Like you see the injuries, like we have the least injuries in the league. Like I don't think any United fan could like imagine that, especially after what we went through under Ten Hag, where he just basically ran
That's a good
players to the
shout.
floor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To be
Mm.
but
to
yeah,
be
man.
fair, he's only playing
We were
one
like
game a week though.
Yeah, but
we were
it's always
sponsoring
like the
doctors
other
during
11
Ten Hag.
teams.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sorry, what
like
did you say?
Leeds, for example. For who? Is it me?
No,
Yeah, yeah.
somebody
I
Go
didn't
was
hear
on.
you.
talking.
Go on. Keep
I didn't
talking.
hear you there, Papi.
Oh. Oh, but like, what's it called? What I'm saying is that although we play one game a week, but still like like the other teams, like the other 11 teams, like Leeds, West Ham, Bournemouth, they aren't playing that much, yet they still have more injuries than us. So it just shows you how like Amram has like changed the way we have been physically, and yeah, that's all I gotta say, like for now.
No, that's a good point, dude. And the thing that I like is that I've seen a lot of people that have been supporting this club for, let's say, 10 times longer than you, and
Hmm.
they still can't have the level of nuance and thought when they're communicating how they feel about the club, because it's so much of like, the team is crap, sell everybody. Ineos are crap. I mean, the Glazers are crap, so that part I get, but
Yeah.
everything else is so reactionary about the club. So I appreciate that you can have like 2 seconds of thought before you say what you say, and that's kind of rare. So I encourage you guys that are watching as well. I know we've got 56 people left now, to also think about it the same way, because I made the video yesterday that I posted. And what was it that I said? I said, we're not just going to go win the league now, but what you need to understand is, did we lose or win a game because of the players doing really poorly or really well? Or did we lose or win a game because the system wasn't good? Right? Because there was a lot of talk about the system, or because the coach made some big mistakes. And for me, at the top of the list for today's game was the players shitting the bed in the attack. And defensively, I don't have much to complain. And after that, you're looking at maybe Amram could have made better substitutions, like Nelson and I talked about that. I think Rob had also mentioned something about it before. So there are things we can get better with, right? And just because we're, backing Amram to get the job done doesn't mean we think he's the finished article either. Just like this team isn't the finished article. There was a big tweet I read today by United, the United channel, where they were talking about the decision-making process from Ineos when they were thinking about replacing Ten Hag. I don't know if you guys have seen that tweet, but
Yeah, I've
essentially
seen
it
it.
said it said something like they were looking at a lot of coaches. They spoke to Tuchel, they spoke to Amarim, they spoke to a few people, but at the time they felt like Amarim was not ready because he was too young and not Premier League proven. Then they decided to back Ten Hag and stay with him, but by October they realized, it's not going to work. Right? It's not looking good. They asked Ten Hag to change a lot of his coaches, and he did, and the team wasn't really getting better. So at that point, I think Omar Barada reached out through his Man City contacts to Amram's agent and tried to have a conversation with him. And the whole leadership group, including Sir Dave Brailsford, Sir Jim, and a bunch of other folks, like 5 people, went to Spain to speak to Amram for 5 hours. And they were so impressed with his tactics, with how he spoke, with how he spoke to his players, everything. The vibe they got from him was like, this guy's the next guy that we should bring in. And so Omar Barada basically said, bringing him in now makes sense because he needs the Premier League experience. He needs to go through those reps. And a season that's already half ruined by Ten Hag is probably the best season we're going to get. Because we keep saying we should have brought him in July. But guys, what if he came in this year and did what we did last year? I don't think he lasts the season, right?
I
But
agree.
last year he came in halfway through a season and kind of went the way he did. And, we didn't get relegated. We made it to a European final. And, if we don't prioritize the Europa League so much, we probably finished like between 9th to 12th instead. So we need to look at it in this way, guys, that this is a developmental coach, the same way, not exactly like Patrick Dorgu, but you could say more like, Kobe Mainu, where we see a lot of potential and we need to give him time and, maybe it can work out. And that's why we need to sort of not judge him the same way you would like a Thomas Frank or even a Thomas Tuchel, right? Those guys are far more experienced coaches.
I agree with you, Andy. I agree with you, Andy. My main argument since Fergie was, look at Arteta, look at Pep Guardiola, look at Klopp. The only reason why they got close to success or experienced any sort of sustained period of dominance or winning was because they had 15 to 17 players of their own 15 to 17 players. Amorim's got 5. Like Arteta's got 17 players. I can bet my bottom dollar if you give Amorim 17 players of his choice, we're swashbuckling everything. Like we're going to cream the league. And I believe I was gonna give, even if we finish 17th this season, for me it doesn't matter until a Manchester United coach has 17 of his own players. He can't be judged because they keep saying give him the Arteta treatment. I say give him the Arteta, Klopp, Pep Guardiola treatment. Pep Guardiola had his sporting directors in Man City 2 years before he arrived. They made sure they had Kevin De Bruyne, Raheem Sterling, Sergio Aguero. They had 6 players that Pep Guardiola could use before he arrived.
Let's not forget Sane, by the way. Sane was also really good.
Sane. And then they got Sane. Then they got another 6 players the day he arrives. So Amorim needs at least 17 players before we can even think about what position we come.
And also, Rav, don't forget, City were in like miles better position than we were when Amorim came in. Like the base they started on was very strong.
Yeah, they were coming second and third when Pep Guardiola came in, and they were being greedy. They were already successful. They were like, hey, we want to dominate like Man United. So for me, until a Man United coach gets a full squad, and I'm talking about a full 24, is allowed to make mistakes like Mari in defense at Arteta, Claudio Bravo is allowed to make mistakes like that. Until he's allowed to do that, then for me, I don't think it's fair that we can judge a Man United coach until then, because of how bad the culture was at the club, the difference between Garnacho and Cunha defensively. Even though today Cunha wasn't great defensively, just imagine if that was Garnacho.
This is why I disagree with you, Rav.
And for me, until that happens, because guys are saying that the bench is weak. Yes, the bench is weak. The bench is weak, but I still feel that the starting 11 is still 5 players, 6 players away from what Amorim what an Amorim team looks like.
Rav, that's good points. I think let's get Nelson's reaction, because I think he has something to get off his chest.
I am losing it here. I thought the whole point of having a structure with Jason Wilcox and all these guys is that they bring in players regardless of the coach,
Brother Nelson,
not for the coach. And 1 second, bro, I heard you. The whole time we built this team, we've been building based off of coaches. We just add more and more players. And with Amorim, I agree with the Arteta shot, by the way. I agree that you need to bring in enough players, and then that's when you judge them. For me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Go on, Nelson.
Okay.
Go on.
I think Rav couldn't hear me because he said he's having network issues. But I think when you look at our team, for sure, the midfield hasn't been sorted out yet.
I can't hear Nelson. Is it me?
Rav, we can all hear Nelson.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So when you look at both midfield wing backs, we probably need one more attacking midfielder probably at some point. that's when I think we'll see a true Amarim team. I'll be honest though. And then once that happens, then fair enough. We can assess him then and see if he's good. I think we need to move on from the Sir Alex Ferguson thing because that's been our weakness this whole time. We've been trying to find the next Sir Alex. And I think we should you build a team, a good enough squad, and you bring in a coach, you give them time, give them 2-3 years. But if in 2-3 years you don't see any improvements, you should look. In the same report, and you mentioned, the first option was De Zerbi, and De Zerbi rejected us.
Yeah.
But De Zerbi's the one who said, no, I'm not coming. So I do think they were looking at a 4-3-3, similar to Ten Hag's crazy 4-3-3. But they were looking at a 4-3-3 attacking game. And then at some point, they must have realized, what if we just switch the whole thing and we bring in a guy who plays with three at the back? But to me, that's actually a good sign because it says we're going to bring in players who can fit multiple systems, which is something we haven't done since Ferguson.
Well, Nelson, let me say one thing. First of all, I don't think I wouldn't agree with the fact that if he finishes 17th again this season, it's okay. I think Rav was exaggerating, by the way. I don't think he meant that literally, but my point is that so my point is that with Amarim, I can see you because when I'm forecasting something, right? Whenever you forecast, you don't just forecast one number for something. You forecast a best case, let's say average, and then a worst case. And for me, the best case with Amarim is somebody that can not just win the league but win multiple leagues, right? And that is his ceiling, because what we're seeing with the evolution of Premier League football is that the tiki-taka is not really working as well as it used to, right? And Pep Guardiola himself, you don't have to look at any other team, but look at Man City and how they play. The evolution of football and evolution of Premier League football is there to be seen. And my point is, when tiki-taka was working very well, the big reason why it worked well is because they could also press high. And the players at the back, so like, for example, Forest 3 years ago or 4 years ago, did not have ball-playing center backs that could get out of tight spaces. And that's why the tiki-taka was like suffocating for them, right? Teams like that. Whereas now, every team has figured out, every Premier League player can play out from the back. So you have a situation where tiki-taka doesn't work. And the next evolution of football is looking to be the mid-block press, where you don't really need 70% possession. You can also win with 55% or 50%.
Are you only referencing the Premier League, or are you also accounting for Europe? Because if you say that, then PSG doesn't make sense.
No, I'm saying the Premier League. I said
you're only saying the Premier League.
But Premier League is also like in the recent times, with the amount of investment there is, Premier League also tends to lead the charge with these things. Like, even if you look at Madrid that have won the Champions League, they're not a tiki-taka team, right? They've won the Champions League.
PSG won last season, and they're
PSG did.
PSG are the exception. I wouldn't use them to point out as an example. Even when Barcelona were doing it, Barcelona were the exception. I don't think anyone has done tiki-taka, including this PSG team, as well as the OG Barcelona did.
I think the reason why Man City aren't playing tiki-taka is because Gundogan left, Rodri's always injured. Foden doesn't know what he wants to do. I'm loving it, by the way. I'm loving this.
But they're not buying. Listen,
but they moved out of that tiki-taka style.
Tijani Reinders isn't a tiki-taka player. They bought Tijani Reinders.
He's a counter-attacking.
So the team, the director of football, is making a decision to not buy tiki-taka players. That's how I'm seeing this. And so my point is, Amarim, I know it's a crazy shot to say this right now, but I guess we like making predictions on this channel. But I'm saying the next wave of football that's coming, I think this is the way that's going to lead it, and that's the potential of it, right? I'm not saying it's going to happen, and I agree with you. If he doesn't show us something in 3 years, we can't really keep him. We can't give him more time because it's not a charity.
No, that's definitely true. That's definitely true. I think 3 years would be a mistake if he finishes 17th. Obviously, I was exaggerating with that statement, but I guess it's just to show the kind of belief I have in Amarim, that if he does get the players that he needs, he will definitely be able to win something. I mean, look at Company at Bayern Munich. He's doing with Bayern what he did with Burnley because he's got that level of player, So, and to go to basically the current topic about the tactical adaptation of the EPL, Pep doesn't have the players to play tiki-taka. It's just like you said, Tijani Reinders is not a tiki-taka type player. So he just doesn't have the players to play tiki-taka, and he's basically forcing this position-based football on his current squad. So for me, there's definitely an evolution, but if he had the sporting director of Paris Saint-Germain, he'd definitely be playing tiki-taka, because you can see they're playing a hybrid tiki-taka, a hybrid type of tiki-taka, very much Luis Enrique at Barcelona, but more ball possession. But I think it's really down to the kind of players and the kind of squad that you build if you want to play tiki-taka, and Pep doesn't have those players, and he's obviously not as involved in the selection of players. He's allowing his...
Rav, I'll say this. I want to move on from this discussion and talk a little bit about the game today, but I'll say this last thing. I don't think it's a case of the sporting director letting Pep down. It's more a collective decision by the club to say tiki-taka in the Premier League is not going to work anymore. And that's why they're making those decisions, because Pep is somebody who has enough clout to say, if you're going to stop buying me players that I want, then I'm going to get the hell out of here. Right.
True.
And Pep is in a position where he has looked at it. They've assessed it all collectively and decided it doesn't make sense anymore. But anyways, I want to bring it back to the game today. I want to hear from you guys. And this is like the last topic of discussion today.
Okay.
What do we do? What do we do with Šeško? I wanna hear thoughts on how we can get more chances created for Šeško, because he had 3 shots today, none of them from great angles, none of them in positions where he could have necessarily done better. How do we create more for Šeško and not just make this a 2-10 team? And Rishi, I'll throw it to Rishi.
Yeah.
I think just zooming out a little bit from the Šeško topic, because this is kind of related to Šeško, what I'm going to say right now. On either side of the 10s in the wing-back role, we don't have strong crosses of the ball. Ahmad's game is not even crossing. He's got a weak right foot. And in fact, I'll even go to the extent and say that some of the things that you expect from a very left-footed, inverted winger, Ahmad doesn't even do those things well. Like, try to imagine the last time you saw Ahmad driving with the ball 20, 30 yards, right? One-on-one with his player, and he should have beaten that guy, cut in, and taken a shot. When he gets into those zones, even when very close to the box, he tries to cut it back, or he wanders back with the ball because he's not able to beat that man. He's not able to go on the outside because he doesn't trust his right foot. So, which brings me to the next point, which is, we desperately, I'm sorry, I'm just taking it away from the Šeško point for a second because I think this is important to discuss. I think we risk doing the same thing to Ahmad that we did with Garnacho and Rashford, which is playing them and trusting them too much and not forcing them to improve because they have competition. I think it is imperative that we get a right-wing competition for Ahmad and we get a competent left winger. Only when these people have competition will they learn to put in a cross, and that is the best way to get that goal which Mount scored against Sunderland, the first goal. It was Mbumo putting in a cross. He took it down with his left foot, shot with his right foot. Šeško can do that in his sleep. He's got the techers for that. He's got the control of the ball. And what surprises me a lot is when he's around the halfway line and he receives the ball, he's able to get out of tight spaces. He's able to ride a challenge from a couple of people, just with his good feet.
Šeško's hold-up play was really good today. There were some parts where they were literally wrestling him. There were 2-3 players wrestling him down, and that's when he lost the ball. So in certain aspects, I saw good stuff. He didn't have a flawless game, but I did see some good stuff from him and clean feet. And I have the notes for it as well. Let me look through it. But Nelson, you took some offense to that.
I'm disagreeing 100%. I thought this was Šeško's worst game by a mile. I think Milenkovic had him. I think Milenkovic had him like in his pocket the whole game. The one time he did, the one shot that he made where he was able to get the ball, use his feet really quickly, and then he took that really quick shot. I think that was his best opportunity. But I think the reason why we're not seeing the best out of Šeško is exactly what Rishi said, is the crossing thing. and it's because they constantly. Ahmad is annoying me that he doesn't like going to the byline. He always goes to a certain point, cuts back, turns, like he's always trying to like. It's either his only options are I'm gonna do an in swinger or I'm just gonna pass back to Mbumo constantly instead of going to the byline, looking up to see if there's any players running in. And I think that was the one thing
what's
that
interesting? I
didn't
have
like.
seen. I agree with you guys in terms of what Ahmad's been doing in the last few games, but I have seen him before go to the touchline. So for
Yes,
some reason,
he's
he
not.
stopped doing that because he has
Yeah.
the ability. In fact, I would say his right foot is better than Mbumo's right foot.
Yes.
And Mbumo's right
Yeah.
foot is horrible compared to Ahmad. And Ahmad is like, I would say, what in FIFA terms, he's a 4-star weak foot player, right?
Yeah.
So we know he can put, and I know Papi PK knows what I'm talking about. But
Yeah, I do know.
but give us
But
your thoughts, man. Give us your thoughts. You've been patiently waiting there.
okay, so my thoughts on Sheshko. Obviously, like I'm a big I'm not like I'm
Sheshko
the biggest
zone.
fan. Yeah, Sheshko zone. Yeah, I'm a big Sheshko fan. Okay, so today, like he felt iffy. Especially like in his control. When Bomo cross on his left when he was on the left when he put that long ball like an
Yes.
off repeat.
Yep.
Yeah, it reminded me of like the Netherlands 2014 goal against Spain, the first one. I think
You're talking about the flying
Van
Dutchman
Nistelrooy.
from
yeah,
Van
the flying
Nistelrooy.
Van
Dutchman.
Persie.
No, Van Persie, not Van
Persie,
Nistelrooy.
yeah.
Yeah. So he could have controlled it better, but we also gotta give the credits to Murillo and Milinkovic because people forget that Murillo and Milinkovic are like one of the best center back pairings in the Premier League. Like especially last season, when they carried Forest into like the 7th, 8th to the European places. Because like
You watch the highlights. You watch
yeah,
the
I watched the
highlights. Fair
highlights.
enough.
It's
I got my
crazy to
hand
hear
up.
that. But this
That was a
Van
crazy
Persie,
reference though. That was a crazy reference though. To take
That's
that
fair.
pass and connect it to it was Daley Blind to Van Persie, and I
Yeah,
remember
they
that.
did
That was insane. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Go
like
ahead.
we know like Sheshko, he was like good on the ball. Although like some of his controls like in the final third or like near the box, they were kind of off, and he could have done better. But we also have to like point out to like some of the Ahmad or Ancunia, because they couldn't provide that pass to him. They couldn't provide service to him. Especially as like you Andy said like Ahmad stopped like going to the byline this match, so that was like a problem. But overall, like I think it was like a one-off game. The worst case scenario was drawing, and that happened. But it's got like the standards have gotten to us. From like being like so shit like in the match that we like lose by 3 goals to being frustrated that we couldn't like win. We had to draw. And like something crazy. Like when Nottingham Forest scored the second goal, I didn't feel like as if like we threw in the game. I felt like that the players can come back because they have done that multiple times, like in Liverpool and in Brighton game. The last 2 games they've also done that. So
I'll be
I
honest. I'll be honest, Poppy. I'll say I was more relaxed in the Liverpool game when they scored their goal than I was in this game. Not to say I
Yeah.
wasn't relaxed today, but it was
Yeah.
more that in the Liverpool game at Anfield, I was like, I'm not panicking. Like I've seen Salah look like Dan James on the right hand side over there, so I'm not
Yeah.
really worried about what's going to happen. And I feel like that's a very good shout because I do this thing. I don't have an official stream, guys. I know I set it out on YouTube. I don't pay for anything here because in Canada it's a little difficult. Maybe Nelson knows what I'm talking about. It's because you got to get like Fubo and like 5 other things if you want to watch all the competitions. But so I have a 30-second delay from the live game. But I also have the FOPMOP page on, and I'll watch like the pass by pass thing, which always ruins the game for me. And so I get the notification for the goal before the goal goes in. When the first goal happened, I was reacting to it. I was looking at what the United stand reactions were, because listen, we all do that, and what people were saying. And then my phone gives me a notification saying Nottingham Forest 2-1. I'm like, they just scored. What happened? Like, how the hell did we go 2-1 down? And essentially that's what happened. Like I got blown away by the speed at which they scored the 2 goals. But I wasn't like, oh damn, here we go again. Like, we're gonna go lose this one. So that's a great shout. Okay, so that's I think that's we've covered the Šeško topic in enough detail. I wanna hear from you guys. Just a quick, give me a month in which you think we'll actually win 5 games in a row, and I want to hear from every single one of you. Nelson,
you would need to pull up the schedule, because I think December's a myth, January's a myth, because we're gonna lose everyone to AFCON. So I think it would have to be anywhere between February, March, and
how poetic
we basically got a preview of AFCON today, right? We got an preview of AFCON, because Mbumo and Ahmad basically didn't play today.
True. Like, so it'd be funny if they go to AFCON and we actually end up winning 5 in a row.
How poetic would be that this guy gets his afro cut during AFCON.
I mean, it could be possible. We don't know. Like, I think Amorim will promote Shea Lacey. He's a baller in the academy.
But did you guys watch the under-21 game against Barnsley?
Hello?
Yeah, I watched the highlights.
You watched the highlights?
Yeah, who's that midfielder? He was, I forgot his name. He was balling Thwaites, right?
Thwaites.
Jim Thwaites.
7-0.
They're saying like
no, this is an old one. Sorry.
Oh no. Yeah, no, we lost. We lost to Barnsley, but Shea Lacey was fairly good, but I could clearly tell there's a drop off. He's nowhere near our players, but he's not bad.
Yeah.
But
we could have a situation where somebody from the youth comes and does a madness, right? It's totally possible, because listen, Rashford wasn't meant to be a first team player, and Martial got injured in the training, and that's how he got his career. But anyways, go ahead, Bobby PK.
Okay, so I think like like the 2 players that will get promoted first are Jim Thwaites and Shea Lacey. Like reports have been saying that Amorim has been very impressed with Jim Thwaites, especially because like the people in the academy are saying that he's like the English Pedri, like the passing and the technicality of him, and the way he like the long balls that he does, and like the short passes and the pass that break the lines, and he's also very like energetic in a kind of a way. Like, he has that energy.
He's very press resistant. He's very press resistant. From what I've seen of him, he's very press resistant.
But he doesn't press well.
I would really like to see Bendito Mantato and Jaden Camerson as well, because I really feel
Matato's good.
Matato's
actually really good.
Mantato, Thwaites, Shea Lacey. I really feel like they can, during AFCON, they can make a contribution, especially because on that right side that we're going to be missing Mbuemo and Mazraoui and Ahmad. And Ahmad. So I really feel like those kids can fill in. I'm really curious to see if we're going to see Dogu on the right-hand side, because like I really feel like Amorim's been waiting to test that out, and that might be a perfect opportunity for him. And I didn't get a chance to comment on the Cisco thing. I don't think we have to worry. I think they're going to gel. Mbuemo and Cunha helped Wissa and Brand Lawson look like 50 million strikers, so we don't need to worry. I just think give that time. But for the AFCON thing, curious to see the form of Mainu, Xerxes, Dogo on the right. I'm sure Amorim's going to try it out. Malacia might come back in the left on the left to accommodate Dogu going right. And we know Amorim likes left-sided wing back and right-sided left-footed wing back. So we will see how that looks. I'm really curious to see Dogu on the right. I really think he's going to try it out. And hopefully when Dalo is now permanently on the right during AFCON, he puts the ball in first time. So we'll see. We'll see. I really hope Kobe Mainu and I hope Bruno goes to the 10, Kobe Mainu and Casemiro hold it down in the midfield. I really think Elliot Anderson is shining because Kobe Mainu is not being seen. That's my theory. I feel like if Kobe was getting a run of games and could pick up form, and hopefully that AFCON period is where Kobe can pick up some form, people will see that, listen, guys, we've got the best young midfield prospect in world football. He can defend. He can ping a ball. If anybody watches Kobe's academy games, there's nothing the boy can't do. So hopefully the AFCON period, we get to see him in midfield and they don't shoehorn him in a 10 because they're trying to persist with Bruno in the midfield. We really want to see Bruno in the 10 and Kobe in the midfield. And I hope during AFCON that's what we get.
I'll say this. I doubt that he's going to put Bruno in the 10 because the problem is what happens as soon as the AFCON players come back. Then you have Bruno missing his rhythm playing in the 8, and that could be a bigger problem for us down the season. So I think Kobe Mainu's best chance is getting games in the FA Cup and getting games at 10. Or even maybe, I don't know, he tries him at wingback. I don't really know how it's going to work because
he plays Mount in the 10 before he plays Kobe.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking we would play Mount, Cunha as the 10.
I don't want to see Kobe. I don't want to see Kobe in the 10. Like, Kobe's not a 10. He's got great potential for a 10. Like, he's got great potential for a 10. But like, and you're so right. He's not going to move Bruno up because like we need Bruno to have that 8 rhythm. But like Kobe for me is a DLP in a CDM role and a DLP in a midfield role. And Casemiro's just balling right now. And it's just tough. It's just tough. And like for me, we Kobe just needs 3 games in a row and he won't get that this season.
All right, guys. I'm gonna have to call time on the stream. I'm loving this chat, but this is I think the longest one I've ever done. So
thanks a lot.
Thank you guys for sticking with us.
The Brentford loss was longer. You went 2 hours and 20.
Okay, well, that's how you see the standards have changed. That after a draw, I'm staying here for 2 hours, right? That's how the standards have changed. Because
I just wanted to say something real quick, Andy, because I wanted to talk about this 5 games in a row thing. I think this whole idea that I'm going to cut my hair after 5 games, right? What it has done is it has set the benchmark for what is a good form for this team.
Yes.
If we don't get 5 wins in a row, we are a bad team. That's what the narrative has become.
And it's ridiculous because no team
it's
gets
ridiculous
5.
because
No
honestly,
yeah.
I mean, Liverpool did, but you know what happened after that.
Yeah. I think Arsenal are the only ones with 7, but
Rishi's
so
got
rare.
a point. I think Rishi's got a point. Like the circus the circus stopped at Man United, and now we've got this guy who's the circus outside Man United.
Yeah, so I mean, I honestly don't begrudge Frank anything. I think what happened to him in the stadium was horrific. No one should have to go through that. At the same time, I feel that whole shtick has gotten really old. It's like almost 400 days. And even on his socials, like he doesn't do anything too funny. He just comes on and says, it's day 388 since Man United have won 5 games in a row. That's all. And what happens is people say unless you win 5 games, you're not in good form. Well, I'm telling you right now, if we draw the Tottenham game, it's still 5 games unbeaten. We come away with 11 points out of 15. I think we would be like, in terms of form, we would be 4th or 5th in the entire table over the last 5 games. So for the stage that we are in, I don't mind where we are at, and I would even take a draw the next game. For me, what's important is what do these players feel right now? Because after having won 3 games, if they're going back and they're sulking and they're like, we weren't good enough today, we have to show against Tottenham that we were, we are that same team that won 3 on the trot. Then that for me is a bigger positive than having scraped the 3-2, maybe that last shot went in or whatever. So that's where I'm at.
Honestly, I'm happy if we can go 3 wins, 1 draw or loss, and then 3 wins again, and then maybe drop points, right? Because I think 3 games is a very good place to look at. And that's a good time frame to look at, and that's also achievable, right? Because you're essentially saying, listen, I want to lose weight for the summer, and I'm going to do it by tomorrow, right? It's not going to work like that. You need to give it some time, and it needs to take some time. And you also can't have somebody just like not cutting their hair till you lose your weight, right? Because then it's like, bro, why you gotta do me like that? You know what I mean? There's so much pressure. But anyways,
you know, honestly, I think that guy blew his wad too early with the Paddy Power ad. I think he blew his wad too early. If he had waited, if he had been patient, he could have probably got a big bag from like a Manscaped or some other clipper company.
He can still
He could
get
have done
it
a
because
whole
United
event of
didn't
it.
win, right?
Yeah.
If United had gone and won today and beaten Spurs,
He would
then
have got
you're
a bag.
right with what you said. But now he can even get a bigger one because people are still gonna want to wait, right?
Yeah.
And listen, whatever you say, Rishi, the memes of that Old Trafford having the hair popping out is just too funny for me. So I'll still keep enjoying it, but I do agree. He needs to get maybe a producer or something on his channel to help him like be a bit more interesting, and make it a bit more, let's say entertaining. But guys, that's enough talk about dude not cutting his hair. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much. PK,
right.
dude,
Great
you were the
stream,
star
guys.
of the show.
Thanks.
Please come back again. And PK says he's not going to cut his hair till we reach 100K subscribers. So, guys, I'm telling you, you guys need to help.
Hey, that's just another month, Andy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
I mean, it could be
See you guys
possible.
later, man. Peace out.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, goodbye.
Shout out to the panel.
See you, brother. All right, thank you guys, man. I know I couldn't get some of you guys back into the show, but thank you for staying patient. I'll definitely bring you back in next time. But it's been a long stream, so we'll end it there. And you guys are just goats, man. All of you guys are goats. Let's go. All right, see you guys next time. Peace.